Rice, Rodgers, Gordon and Harry Kane, and they are all in white as Latvia in their carmine red with a little bit of orange and white will be playing from left to right as the Greek referee, who is Tassos Sidipopoulos, is about to get us underway, with England knowing that they are 3 points away from achieving World Cup qualification. Cape Verde last night became the 19th different side. You have to go back to Japan, who were the first to qualify back in March. Portugal and England could be the first European sides to do it tonight. And England know that 3 points, as straight away it goes downfield from Pickford, launches the ball long towards Harry Kane on the edge of the area, and picked up by the white shirts, the all-white of England, playing from left to right. And this is where Thomas Tuchel has set his stall out. He wants to have that intensity, that physicality, and to swarm all over Latvia. As Lewis Skelly slides the ball in towards Rice, Gordon on this left-hand side, back towards Rice, and England looking to settle into an early groove. Anderson floats the ball forward, and it's goalwards, and Harry Kane flags up on the far side. Harry Kane at the far post, just guiding it in with his left foot. It was inside, 45 seconds, but ruled out for offside.
Well, it was a lovely pass from Elliot Anderson. Not enough pressure on the ball from Latvia. Is clearly offside. I mean, the linesman keeps his flag down till quite late, but England are going to have good movement around the area, because I'm looking at the setup of Latvia. I mean, it's a 5-4-1 really. There's just going to be players banked everywhere across the middle of the pitch and tight lines, so it's going to require shifting them about and moving the ball quickly and maybe some adventurous passes.
Rice wins the ball, Anderson plays it back, Concert, edge of the centre circle in the England half, Spence out towards Saka on that right hand side, Saka gives it back towards Spence. Now it's with John Stones, Thomas Tuchel, who's made his way across the athletics track, watching on, being serenaded by the England supporters. I think he was so focused on the game, he was unaware that they were actually singing his name.
Biggest technical error you've ever seen, Denham?
Just a little.
It's a five-a-side pitch, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You can understand why the Latvian players don't like playing here in terms of the atmosphere, because you're just completely detached, aren't you, as a player?
Yeah.
You know, no stand on the far side with the trees. Here is Stones, and already England have every outfield player in the Latvia half away towards our left-hand side. Spence rolls it forward, looking to try and get Saka in behind Ziganieks, who is making his 59th consecutive appearance for the Latvian national side tonight, which actually is a joint record. So it's in a ground which is a 3-minute drive from his childhood home, and it equals the record also set by Andres Rubins between 1999 and 2004. However, if he picks up a yellow card tonight, he will not be able to extend that record, because he's one of 7 players, if they pick up a yellow card, would be suspended for their final qualification game, which is away to Serbia next month. So he'll need to be on his best behaviour. Rodgers, that was a nice turn, and he looked for the ball through the middle for Gordon. He
does that well, doesn't he? Morgan Rodgers, really love the way he takes the ball and turns all in one motion. You've got to have such good head movement to do that. He checks and scans constantly before the ball comes. He knows his surroundings, and he's so smooth the way he takes that first touch. It really does have an impact, because he gets his head up and he's straight at the back four, certainly when, you know, both those banks of midfield and the defence of Latvia is so condensed.
I enjoyed the pre-match chat with Kelly and Connor and yourself, but when Connor was highlighting Morgan Rodgers, I couldn't agree more with him. You know, we're expecting Bellingham, but it says everything about Morgan Rodgers. You know, in the space of 11 months, he's been involved in every game for England. 10 successive games now where he's been involved, whether he's come off the bench or started. And I think that Thomas Tuchel is a huge admirer of the Aston Villa player, as the ball is chipped out towards this near side. They were looking for Yukovskis. Down the line it goes, looking to give chase. was Vapne. They've made 3 changes from the side that drew 2-2 with Andorra on Saturday. Zvidris is in goal. You've got Vaits, Chernomordis and Balodis as their 3 central defenders. Siganics and Yukovskis are the wing-backs. Vaslavans, Vapne and Zelenkovs in the centre of midfield, with Ikaunics just behind Gudkovskis, who leads the line. As Latvia are going to do a lot of defending in this game, a lot of chasing, and eventually you would think those legs would tire as Saka rolls it in towards Rodgers with his back to goal. Couldn't roll away from his marker. Saka tries to win it back. England go hunting for the ball over on that right-hand side. And in the end, it was Ikaunics who's the player who's got to try and dig the ball out. But England are all over them. They just can't get out, Matt. And the ball is played through. Here is Rodgers with a shot, right-footed, blocked on the edge of the area. This is what Thomas Tuchel wants to see from his players.
I think certainly the regaining of possession once you lose it is a noticeable shift with England. Their reaction, 3 or 4 players nearest the ball really go after it for at least 3 to 4 seconds just to see if they can win it straight back. Makes it very hard for Latvia to get any passes out of that back area of the pitch. I mean, they just about got away with it there and came through with the ball, but it's going to be hard for them. It was a poor result for them at home here, wasn't it? Against Andorra.
Yeah.
So the confidence-wise, I mean, to concede 2 goals in that is not great.
No, England are attacking. Saka weaves his way in towards the penalty area, and the ball then is cleared away by Vaslavans on the edge of the area. It goes out for an England throw. Bizarrely, that was the first time that they'd actually scored 2 goals in a game under Paolo Nicolau, their Italian coach. First time in 17 games that they'd scored 2 goals, and it came against the might of Andorra. There's Spence for England, midway through the Latvian half. The England fans are boisterous. It's been a damp, cold day in Riga as Gordon heads the ball towards Lewis Skelly. And then the ball is going to be brought away by Latvia on this near side, but the ball from Vaslavans couldn't get it in field. Now Harry Kane picks it up. He's got Gordon on his left-hand side. Gordon towards the penalty area, crosses, and Harry Kane puts it wide. And I've got to say, Harry Kane, those type of chances you would think he would bury.
Well, I think any chance you expect him to bury, that's the kind of form he's in. Didn't hit the target that time, though. It was good play from Gordon. It really was. It kind of fell to Kane, had a little bit of space, drove at the back foot, slipped it wide to Gordon, makes his run into the box. And for me, just looking at the replay, certainly achievable for him to hit the target. And he kind of looks up to the sky, almost thinking, how have I missed that? It really was a side foot into the back of the net. And Thomas Tuchel's reaction as well certainly says that.
There was one of real shock on the face of Thomas Tuchel. For Harry Kane, who's scored 19 goals in 12 games for club and country this season. He's already had an early goal disallowed. He could easily have put England ahead inside the 7th minute. Bearing in mind, England had to wait until the 38th minute to break the deadlock against Latvia back in March, but all of a sudden the ball hoisted towards the penalty area. Gudkovskis couldn't control it. In comes the cross. There was excitement there from the Latvian supporters in front of us. There was a shriek as that cross came in from Yukovskis on this near side, the right. But in the end, there was no real threat to Jordan Pickford's goal as he looks to extend his own record of 8 successive clean sheets.
That was a good header from Stones defensively. It was a great ball in, wasn't it, from Yukovskis. Really whipped it with a bit of pace, but Stones was in a great position just to flick it away.
Lewis Skelly goes down the line. Gordon, only the second time for England that he's had 3 successive starts. The last was 13 months ago. He's never gone 4 on the spin for England, but he's got a chance to impress as the Newcastle player, left-hand side of the penalty area, sends in a left-footed cross. Siganics heads it away, drops towards Anderson, tries to get it out towards Saka, blocked, comes out towards Spence. He runs away and finds now the Arsenal player midway through the Latvian half. 9 minutes played. BBC Radio 5 live, also live on the BBC Sounds app. World Cup qualification game here, and Lewis Skelly just took his eye off the ball. It went away from him. It'll go out for a Latvia throw.
It's been a promising start, hasn't it, in a fixture that can be difficult in terms of just having to break down a team that's going to sit deep, but 2 good chances already. It should be 1-0 up, really. I mean, Harry Kane, you would expect him to hit the target, and Anthony Gordon's looked quite bright on the left-hand side, putting a good couple of crosses into the box already.
Jankowskis is taking his time with the throw. It's a looping throw on this near side. Latvia playing from left to right as we look, but England have it now, and it was with Spence. Short ball, pushed to the feet there of Saka. Spence will go on the overlap, and quickly that pass from Saka finds Spence, back to the Arsenal player. Here is Konsa, bright orange boots on this damp night in the Latvian capital. Gordon once again on the left, comes on the inside, about 25 yards out from goal. Anderson, no width at the minute because Saka had come just to the right corner of the box. He had to move back outside, and once again Spence goes on the overlap. Here is Saka, looks to try and thread the ball through, blocked, comes back to Saka, shoots left-footed, blocked, it'll rebound out towards Spence. His first time cross takes a deflection, falls to Lewis Skelly, who tried to strike it, wouldn't necessarily sit. He took out Voslavens, the Latvian midfielder, in the process. Saka though now has it. His cross is a deep one, and it's headed up in the air by Jankowskis, and then the effort on the half volley is fired in by Elliot Anderson, and it was right-footed and screwed well over the top. As Portugal 0, Hungary 1 is the latest score in Group F, and that means that it's a setback for Portugal's hopes of qualification tonight. They had to win and hope that Armenia failed to win against the Republic of Ireland. However, they're not even upholding their side of the bargain because they have fallen behind. Portugal 0, Hungary 1 is the latest score. Matt Upson.
Well, at the moment this game's just feeling like, you know, when will England score, not if, doesn't it? I mean, it's just got that feel to it. It started very well. There's good movement off the ball, which you have to have. Jed Spence going on lots of overlaps to try and stretch the play. Lewis Skelly getting supportive, and England looking like at any moment, if they find the right pass or the right cross, they're going to put the ball in the back of the net.
Here is Lewis Skelly coming in off the left touch line. Gordon goes out to the touch line, looks to go on the outside of Jankowskis, delivers the cross as well. Saganics is there to head it away inside the penalty area. Picked up though by Spence. England though still looking to try and keep the tempo, keep the pressure on Latvia. Pass the ball out quickly. Stones towards Gordon. Early ball into the penalty area and tried to be kept alive by Rodgers, but it goes behind eventually for a goal kick. They seem to have moved on. You know, when they played, well, indeed Latvia and Andorra, and there was them stodgy performances. Yeah. They were passing the ball slowly. They were struggling to break down teams with a low block. They've now got an urgency about themselves in these last 2.5 games.
It's not stodgy, is it?
Definitely not.
At all. It's quite sharp, it's bright, there's movement. I love the fact that Rodgers or Rice are always arriving in the box when the ball's wide with a fullback or with Gordon or Saka to cross it. One of those is making that run right into the heart of the box.
Here is Harry Kane. Inside he finds Rodgers. Saka is to his right, edge of the penalty area, enters the box now. Ball stuck to his left foot. Clips it across towards Lewis Skelly. Sits up for Lewis Skelly. Hits it left-footed down into the ground. And then in the end he plays the ball back towards Konsa. But England are maintaining their dominance and their control in this game in 13 minutes. Spence again will come on the overlap. They're looking for that sort of... as it's Saka's cross comes shot, sails over the goal and out for a goal kick. They're wanting the full-backs to be aggressive, to get forward, to be attacking. And certainly Spence is doing that on the right-hand side.
He is, and when he does that, he just takes that little bit of attention from the defender, because the last thing you want to allow Bukayo Saka to do, like you saw against Wales on Thursday, is come inside on his left foot. I mean, he's pinpoint the way he picks out the far post and whips it with his left foot. So he's just trying to create that bit of confusion, Spence. I mean, he might make 10 of those runs and get the ball once, but it just creates that half a yard for Saka.
Thomas Tuchel on this occasion did acknowledge the England supporters who filled the 4 segments of that terrace that is elevated away towards our right-hand side with a thumbs up as Harry Kane. Nice little play by England. Lewis Skelly, we talk about the fullbacks getting forward. He was the most advanced England shirt there on the edge of the penalty area, and they almost slipped him in too.
Well, he always looks likely to get in the box, doesn't he? Every time he plays, Lewis Skelly. He's got that kind of confidence to go forward. Amazing confidence for such a young player.
Ball given away, interception for Anderson here for England, still 0-0 on 5 Live, and the BBC sounds out. We've been playing for nearly a quarter of an hour. As here now is Declan Rice. Rice out towards Gordon. Lewis Skelly, first time cross, swept over from the left, but it goes out of play for a goal kick. There's more live football tomorrow on 5 Live, Women's Champions League coverage, Chelsea against Paris, and the Premier League returns on Saturday. 5 Live Sport from midday, Manchester City against Everton, the 3 o'clock commentary, and the usual goal service, Fulham Arsenal at 5:30. Crystal Palace Bournemouth, incidentally, will be our sports extra offering at 3, and then on Sunday Tottenham Aston Villa at 2, and Liverpool Manchester United, the small matter of the commentary at 4:30. So they're the games to look forward to as the Premier League returns. This is a World Cup qualifier where it remains Latvia 0, England 0. John Stones strokes it in field. Konsa, 2 out to his right hand side. Spence again on the overlap. Saka plays him in, sliding across was Volodis, and it will go out for an England throw that they take quickly. And it's Saka. Konsa. Stones now as well. Ball reaches Gordon on this near side. Comes infield, hits it, curling, and he's got too much underneath that. It was always going over the top, and it runs away off the athletics track and goes right up against a metal fence underneath that elevated stand at the left-hand side.
It's been another good start from Elliot Anderson in this game. He's got such a good instinct of reading where to be to pick up a loose pass or to apply pressure to someone's first touch. He really, I don't know whether that's just a natural sense that he has, but it's certainly a great asset to have in the middle of the pitch, and again makes it that little bit harder to find a place in that midfield for any players coming in, because he's just dominating that part of the pitch at the moment.
Anderson plays it to Saka. Saka chips over the cross from the right. Latvia will try and get the ball away, and that was a foul by Lewis Skelly, and that will be a free kick to Latvia. It was Onvar Slavens, who played now in 14 of the last 16 internationals for Latvia. Just an accidental trip. It'll offer a little bit of respite, because it's been a difficult 17 minutes, hasn't it, for Latvia to try and keep England at bay.
Yeah, it can't be too much fun, can it? Just running around, dropping in, filling in, tracking back, making tackles, and when you get the ball, they're not managing to keep possession at all. They've got a little bit of the ball back right now at the left-back position, but look at the pressure from England. Everyone, all the white shirts pushed all the way in, not allowing any space, and just force the error, the ball out of play, and then they're locking into players again. It's a really disciplined start from England.
Daniels Bolodis, who was relegated with St Johnstone, he's actually left Scotland now and moved to Slovakia in the summer, was the player who was able to clear. It comes to this near side for Yukovskis. Declan Rice, though, wins it back for England, as Jordan Pickford comes into my eye line, all in green. Still to be as vocal, just for him to keep that levels of concentration, just to shout to the players. That's how he maintains his concentration. He's going to be a mere spectator tonight. Just a question of when England score. When can they break down this Latvian side? 0-0. Spence, Anderson, got time to have a little glance over his left shoulder. 18 minutes played, looks very, very comfortable though, does Anderson, always makes himself available. Spence gives it away, picked up now by the lone striker, Yukovskis, and he is fouled, and that will be a free kick, as Turkey are leading Georgia by a 1-0 in Group E. Turkey 1, Georgia 0. Turkey trying to keep pace with Spain at the top of Group E, as Latvia go back to their goalkeeper Zvidris. Intercepted though by Declan Rice. Here is Anthony Gordon moving into a central area. The layoff by Rodgers almost got Harry Kane in, but straight away Rodgers goes in pursuit of the ball. He doesn't think, oh, didn't quite come off. His first instinct is then to go and chase after the Latvian defence. That's
the reaction you want. It's the reaction Thomas Tuchel's looking for. It was a nice layoff as well. Tough to get the perfect angle, wasn't it, as it came into it. Really just tried to cushion it one touch into the path of Kane, but you're right, the reaction was superb to go and press and force the error to win the ball back. Anderson again doing the industry, the hard work in the midfield, and then wanting the ball off Jordan Pickford, as Konsa
comes to the midway point of his own half and takes it short from Pickford. As we hear Latvian voices for the first time here in Riga tonight, that Gordon goes on the outside, down towards the byline. Gordon keeps the ball in play and pulls it back. Saka shoots, blocked. But the flag is up on the far side. It had actually gone out anyway. It'll be a goal kick to Latvia, but Gordon looks lively.
He does. He's going at the defender every time, goes past him, rides a second challenge, just doesn't manage to keep the ball in as he crosses it, but he's looked to be very direct, Anthony Gordon. I mean, he's not had a brilliant season in terms of impact numbers of goals and assists, has he, for Newcastle? Certainly not in the Premier League. He's not really carrying too much punch in terms of defining moments in matches, but you just always know what you get from him. You know, his application and work rate and attitude is spot on, which always does create that foundation for you as a player.
I was given a score by our producer Gary. I thought I'd remembered it, so I rolled it up as Gordon sent over the cross, and then I've had to unravel it because I'd actually forgotten what it was. And it's Andorra are leading Serbia by a goal to nil in England's group. Wow. That gives you an indication of how much Serbia in disarray. Andorra leading 1-0.
Well, Andorra are flying, mate. And 2 goals away from home last week.
Yeah, now at home they lead Serbia 1-0. That was their first point in Group K as well.
Can't believe you screwed that result up.
The memory's not what it used to be. There's a mountain of paper now starts to just gather in the desk between you and me, Matt. 21 minutes played, 0-0. It was actually Serbia's inability to beat Albania, and that defeat that meant that the 3 points could secure qualification for the World Cup for England tonight. With those games that were played on Saturday, England of course had played 2 days previously with that friendly against Wales, as Anderson, Thomas Tuchel, desperate for Spence to get forward, looks for the cross for Harry Kane, and it was Churnomudis, the captain, who's headed it behind. The lead, by the way, didn't last long. I can rip that one up with confidence as Serbia have equalised. Andorra 1, Serbia 1 elsewhere in Group K. England, though, have a corner kick, and Declan Rice is going to take it.
This is big as well for me, having a team, because you don't get a lot of time to work together on an international stage, but having good set pieces when you come into a major tournament is massive. So England working on that and having a plan, which they have. It's been interesting to see how this corner takes out Declan Rice with his right foot. Declan
Rice swings it over from that far side, the right, flicked away by the head of Churnomudis, picked back up by Anderson, and now it is with Stones. And Stones will run in field. He'll pass the ball back out towards Rice, who stayed right corner of the area. Saka is behind him. Spence is central at the moment. This is Morgan Rogers. Rogers delivers the cross, and Latvia defence deal with it. So we're midway through the first half. It is goalless here on 5 Live. And to take you through to half-time, it's our correspondent, John Murray.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, it's got a real FA Cup feel to it. This match here in this setting, in the capital of Latvia, Riga, the Daugava Stadium, which is named after the wide river that flows through the city. As England attack, Spence's cross from the right-hand side. Say England attack, that's all that's happened during the match so far. It's attack against defence. And here's Gordon now, Anthony Gordon gives it to Harry Kane, the captain fit again after his bruised foot. Then Miles Lewis-Skelly turns, tries to give it back to Kane, but there are too many maroon and orange shirts inside the Latvia penalty area, and in the end actually England win a free kick. Anderson's bundled over, Gordon now plays it infield, Kane 30 yards out, plays it square, Spencer's there, now out to Saka on the right hand side in the green boots after he scored one of the goals on Thursday night, his first since the Euros, Saka. And then into the edge of the penalty area, half cleared away, comes back to Elliot Anderson now, Lewis-Skelly, his left-footed cross right across the penalty area, and then it's bounced down and should be dealt with by Tsiganix, but he hasn't done that, and it's actually out of play, offering for a throw-in to England. Relentless, Matt.
It is relentless, and Thomas Tuchel right at the edge of his technical area, and I can tell he's getting a little bit edgy in terms of England are really controlling this game, but they've not made that breakthrough yet, and I think he's feeling a little bit just anxious, as if to say he feels his team maybe should have one goal already, but they haven't, and they've just got to keep probing, keep working, keep trying to break down this Latvia team that are just sat right back and are saying, come on then, break us down.
Matthew Upson with us on 5 Live, went to the World Cup with England. Conor Cody's in the studio with Kelly Cates. We'll hear from Conor at half-time. Another England World Cup man, as Anthony Gordon tries to win a corner for England, but it bounced back onto him and behind for a goal kick. Yes, I'm not sure how Harry Kane missed that chance that he had when it was swept into him from the left-hand side by Anthony Gordon. The contact was as clean as can be, but it was inches wide at the foot of the post.
Very un-Kane-like, wasn't it? I have to say, those are normally absolute precision, yeah, and he just gets it wrong, hits it through the near post, maybe hits it too clean, John.
Yeah, Harry Kane missed the match on Thursday night. That was the first match, the only match that he's not started under the management of Thomas Tuchel. This Tuchel's 8th match in charge. Portugal have equalised against Hungary. It's Cristiano Ronaldo with his 142nd international goal, and Turkey now 2-0 up on Georgia in the Spain group. Still Spain 0, Bulgaria 0. And here is one for Gordon to chase. It's a longer pass this time. Latvia did actually venture downfield, so Gordon now, there's a little bit of space, cuts infield, right foot shot, it's there! Anthony Gordon opens the scoring for England in the 26th minute, and the Latvian resistance is broken by the Newcastle United man, who scores his 2nd goal for England. Nicely done as well, on his right foot, a low shot into the far bottom corner, and it is Latvia 0, England 1.
Well, he deserves that, Anthony Gordon, for how he started the game. He's been really positive and progressive, and he gets his reward. I have to say, though, John Stones plays a huge part in this goal. He literally gets the ball and he points his finger and looks at Gordon and says, go on, just go in behind. We keep playing into feet and having to break him down. You get behind. He chips the ball over the top. Lovely ball. Gordon skips onto it, drops his shoulder, cuts in past 2 defenders, and it's just a lovely placed, precise side foot where he bends the ball with his right foot, curling around the goalkeeper into the far post. Perfect finish. Lovely move from England. Simple. There's been lots of intricate little bits of play. That was really simple, but straight to the point, and they get their reward.
But that was one of the few occasions where England, Stones, was able to play a pass like that, because as I said, Latvia had ventured downfield.
Yes, that's right, they had an attack. Konsa cuts it out, the ball pops to Stones. But, you know, we talked about how influential he is, and Conor Cody mentioned it before the game about what he brings. That was just real leadership, if I'm honest, because he's got the ball at his feet, he wants to put it in there, and he puts his finger up and looks Gordon in the eye across the pitch and says, get yourself in behind, and he's got the quality to find the right way to pass, and Anthony Gordon finished it brilliantly. He started very well on this left-hand side for England.
Yes, he did. I thought he played well against Wales as well on Thursday night, and he's had a little bit of a wait for his 2nd England goal, but there it is. It's come as Latvia do push forward with Jurkauskis on the right-hand side, gets the cross into the box, and that's cleared away by John Stones on the volley, and it bounces out of play just down in front of us. We've got a running track around the pitch here, but it is wide open, this stadium, and actually the forecast was for very strong winds tonight, blowing in off the Baltic, just like they had here against Andorra on Saturday when the match finished 2-2, and they had to scrap the plans to have an arch on the field before the match because they thought it was going to blow away, but the strong winds haven't materialised.
You got that forecast wrong, John, and you actually forced me to pop into a shop and buy a woolly hat this afternoon.
Yes,
that was 20 euros wasted, isn't it?
It'll serve you well, though. Here's Jurkauskis down the right-hand side, plays the ball in, it bounces up and onto Konsa, and England are able to clear it away. Varslavans in the penalty area, got contact on that, but I think down into the ground, up onto Konsa, and England clear.
There was a handball appeal as well off of Konsa, who had his arms down by his side, but like we've seen in these competitions in European or international football, they do like a dodgy handball decision, but I don't think anything's come of it. But nice move from Latvia, actually. Good ball in and good runners into the box. They actually committed men forwards.
Yeah, they did, and it had to be an improvement after what happened here on Saturday when a great deal went wrong for Latvia, and their coach Paolo Nicolato was saying to us yesterday, he said they're a lovely group of players. He said they're nice lads. Actually, they're too nice. I'd like them to be bad guys against England tonight. Well, they've got a corner after that, so it's their first corner of the match, and there's lots of movement in the box. Here it is, delivered to the near post, and it's headed away by Harry Kane for England, and then Saka stretching, got a touch to it, but it's out of play. And Latvia having their best spell of the match. The backdrop, though, you can hear it, 2,700 England fans are in that stand to our right, which is all alone there in splendid isolation. These two stands that are sort of raised up above the ground, probably 10-15 feet by concrete pillars, and the England fans are in there in great numbers here, and they'll be enjoying the England performance so far tonight, the goal from Anthony Gordon, and I'm sure they'll have enjoyed their time in this really attractive city that we find ourselves. First time I've been here for over a quarter of a century. I'd forgotten how nice it is, and beautiful in autumn as well. And Latvia, with the ball, Zelenkovs plays it up to Ikaniks, who is trying to take it round the outside, but Jed Spencer's able to get the ball, prevent it going out, and then that was a sturdy challenge from Tsiganiks actually on him, and he just knocked the ball away. Tsiganiks dived in, caught Spence, and we'll just have to see if he's okay. I think he's going to be okay.
Well, he's the exact player that didn't need a booking today, as Deno's already mentioned earlier on. He was on for a record, wasn't he?
He must have been yellow carded for that.
Yeah, he got the yellow card straight out.
Yeah.
It was out too quick, John. I think the yellow card was out before the player had hit the ground. I mean, it was a bad tackle. He really does launch in, catches him quite badly, and it's a shame because that record he was going for, he won't be able to achieve now.
No, well, he's equalled it. It's a Latvia record for consecutive appearances for the men's international team, 59 matches, but as Ian pointed out earlier, he will not be able to play against Serbia away next month in what will be their final qualifier. So England leading by 1-0. This is the scoreline that will confirm England's place at the World Cup next summer. But only 1-0, and Latvia have been much better since they conceded the goal, strangely. They've had to try and come out, and here they are now in possession again on the halfway line. The maroon and white colours of the Latvian national flag, as well as bits of orange in there as well, and England all in pristine white tonight, really standing out on this dank, damp evening here just outside the Riga city centre.
I must say the pitch looks good though, John.
It does.
Yeah, the balls, both teams, no issues with the pitch at all, no dodgy bounces. It's actually being moved nice and quickly and pretty flush along the surface.
Yep, see, it is the National Athletics Stadium of Latvia as well, as Vars Slavans carries the ball in from the right-hand side, but Jed Spence, who has recovered, he's shaken off that heavy tackle from Tsiganiks, he's able to volley it away out of play near the halfway line. Latvia 0, England 1. If you've just switched onto us on BBC Radio 5 Live, listen to 5 Live on the BBC Sounds app as well, as the ball's played over the top, but right wing back Jurkowskis can't keep that in play, and it's out for a throw to England. Football pages of the BBC Sport website, Phil McNulty and Sammy Mockbell will be writing on this match, and if it stays like this, on what happens next for England in terms of the path towards the World Cup finals next summer. Tony Livesey's on 5 Live tonight from 10:30, so whatever reaction that we can bring you here, we will do on 5 Live Sport, but it might well spill into Tony's programme as it did last week, although I think England are looking to make a quick exit here tonight with these players involved in matches at the weekend, and it's a long flight back, 2.5 hours or so. Here's Stones in possession, just to the left of the centre circle, across to Elliot Anderson. 2 hours ahead of UK time here in the Baltic nations. First time England, the senior men's team, have played here. A new destination for England, and leading through that Anthony Gordon goal. He was talking in the build-up to this match, Anthony Gordon, how he feels as though his performances so far for England, I think he rated himself at 50%. He wanted to be better, and he has impressed in these 2 matches, and he's on the score sheet with his first goal for England since last November, when he scored in the 5-0 win against Republic of Ireland. Ball played by Anderson to Kane on the left-hand side. Kane goes for goal, took a deflection which took it right across the penalty area, and then a stretch and a header away by Tsiganiks, out of play for a throw down the right-hand side. I think it's a lovely quirk that this brilliant goal-scoring season for Harry Kane yet again. He scored against all and sundry, scored in his last 7 appearances for club and country. The last team that he failed to score against was Andorra. It's a corner to England, actually. It did bounce out of play just the other side of the corner flag. So another set-piece chance. Remember how effective they were, scoring 2 of the goals in the aftermath of corners against Wales on Thursday. Rice standing with his hands on his hips, now waiting to take this. Players clustered around the penalty spot, and that's where the ball goes. It takes a flick off a Latvian head, comes out to Elliot Anderson, puts his foot on it, but wanted too much time actually, and he was closed down by Gutkovskis, who was just taken a knock in that challenge, and he stayed down, and Latvia put the ball out of play, and I think he'll receive some treatment.
I think he got the brunt of Elliot Anderson's follow through of that attempted shot. He wanted the ball to come down. He was trying to just put his foot through it from quite long range. It was good pressure from Gutkovskis, and he's rubbing that right thigh quite intensely.
Yeah, he looks determined to continue there, doesn't he? The number 9, 30 years old, actually plays in South Korea for Daejeon Hana Citizen.
He's got a trip home.
He has. Talking about 2.5 hours for England.
We're complaining about the 2.5 hours.
Go halfway across the world. Here's Stones now to Ezri Konsa. No Mark Gay in the team tonight. He is on the bench though. He's okay. If you're a Crystal Palace fan, don't worry. The ball's played away by Latvia up towards Gutkovskis, who seems okay, but he's out-muscled, dispossessed by Ezri Konsa.
Good management of that situation with Gerhi, John, do you feel?
I think so, yeah.
Considerate, isn't it? And across everything, I think that is an interesting decision, and one that, a lot of managers may not have made, but I think that's quite clever.
Well, Crystal Palace captain, 12 matches, started all of the matches for Palace in all competitions. Here's Gordon on the left-hand side, plays the ball in right across the 6-yard box, and I'm not sure how anyone didn't get a touch on that, whether attacker or defender, and in the end, Latvia were able to take possession and clear it away. And Spain have taken the lead against Bulgaria, and it's Mikel Merino of Arsenal. Here's Rice of Arsenal. Now to Gordon. Gordon in the area, goes for a little shot. The defender was in front of him, just tried to be cute with that, didn't he? Yeah. And they're saying that it took a deflection, England, and they're wanting a corner, and the referee does not agree. Tassos Sidiropoulos, and says it is a goal kick.
I don't think there's a touch on that from when I see the slow-mo, but Anthony Gordon, he is enjoying himself on this left-hand side. Really good quality into the box again, and Harry Kane, who's been slightly held in the box by Balodis, couldn't quite get away from his marker, because if he did, it's just a tap-in at the far post. Really good play from Gordon.
Well, Latvia very nearly gave it away there, but they had to be sharp, because Gordon was after it, but it was cleared away on the edge of the box, and then there's a foul on Elliot Anderson. Turkey are now 3-0 up on Georgia, so both Turkey and Spain winning in that group, Group E. Spain 3 points clear at the top of that section. Portugal, like England, could qualify tonight, but they're 1-1 with Hungary, and Republic of Ireland 0, Armenia 0 in the other match in that group in Dublin. So Anderson now up to Saka, who's in the middle of the Latvia half, but he's been forced away to and actually gives it to Anderson, who curls it into the box, and a stretching half clearance for Latvia. Bounces down now over there to the far side to Tsiganics, who's looking to work it away, which he does, but it just gives possession back to England. 38 minutes played here in Riga, England winning 1-0. But they've dominated it, and Kane's going to have a shot from distance. That's 25 yards plus, but with his left foot pulls it well wide of the post and bounces into the advertising hoardings to the right of the goal as he looks at it.
There's a nice bit of kind of interchanging amongst that front five, really, because I'll include Declan Rice in that, whereas Kane's sometimes dropping out. That time Anthony Gordon had made it all the way into the far post of the box. Sometimes Saka's making it inside. There's a lot of nice movement between that whole front section of the team, really working off each other and balancing out. If somebody goes in there, then Kane's dropping out, or Rice might hold, or then he might get in the box. He's got a nice balance to it at the moment.
Thomas Tuchel just making 2 changes tonight, the fewest number of changes match to match that that he's made so far. And England, 5 wins out of 5 in the group, yet to concede a goal, and are at the moment getting the scoreline they need to qualify for the World Cup tonight with 2 matches to spare. England with it on the edge of the box. Rodgers tries to play it in there. That's cleared away up towards the far side, where all of those trees, a line of trees with a slight autumn tinge to them, all the way along that side of the ground. And then this massive black rectangular video screen, which is held up by 2 grey columns and absolutely dominates that side of the pitch.
Yeah. And I mean, they're playing a live feed of the game, aren't they? I mean, it's just big TV screen you can watch it on.
You can, inside the ground. Huge grey floodlight pylons. They are industrial.
Well, they're the star of the show, John. That has to be said.
Some of the best I've ever seen. Here's Saka on the right-hand side. Claims he was fouled. Referee agrees and pulls out another yellow card for that challenge on Bukayo Saka, and a free kick for England in a good position.
Yeah, great position. This referee getting the yellow card out again, but Saka just hovering over the ball. It's right in that position, right at the corner, about 5 yards outside of the 18-yard box. I mean, he didn't like the reaction of the Latvian player. I think it was Balodis, yeah, went to ground and just kicked through the side of Saka. Not too short. It's a yellow card, though, John, if I'm honest, looking at the tackle.
Yeah, he sort of hooked his right foot around.
It's a bit harsh
Saka's
for a
ankle.
yellow card, isn't it?
It was a little. He's not one of the raft of Latvian players who came into this match 1 yellow card away from a suspension. But really, this defeat, if it is to be a defeat, means that their most remote of opportunities of qualifying for the World Cup will have gone. Saka then with this free kick over there on the right-hand side. He's going to play it in left-footed, but a leap and a header away by Tsiganyiks comes back to Saka. Then it's worked infield to Anderson. 4 minutes to go to half-time. England still leading through just the 1 goal, Anthony Gordon, but could easily have had a couple more. Elliot Anderson, 4 caps now, started the last 4 matches. He already almost feels like a part of the furniture.
It's unheard of, isn't it? To have your first 4 caps and you start all 4 games.
He is right. That's a good-looking ball into the box. He whipped it in right-footed, headed away though, well defended. Harry Kane now to the edge of the box, and then Anderson, and then a Rabona pass from Miles Lewis-Skelly into the box that was half cleared away. Rodgers is over on the left-hand side, and he receives it back. Morgan Rodgers of Aston Villa into the box. Now the chance for Anderson with the shot across the face of goal, but wide of the far post. From the angle, slashed at it a little, and hit it across the face of goal.
I think that's the right phrase. A little bit of a snatched effort from Anderson there. Just found himself in space, picked up a lovely position, good pass from Rodgers, sees him in, wraps the ball into him. A little bit frantic in the finish, and he walks away kind of gesturing to himself as if to say needed a little bit more calmness and finesse on that finish. But again, another midfield player having the balance and the intelligence to get into the right area in the box. England find the pass and create a chance, and done that well in this first half.
Latvia lost it again. Kane plays it through into the penalty area for Rice, but goalkeeper Zviedris does well, actually anticipated that well, quickly out of his 6-yard box and grasped it at the feet of Declan Rice. So need to make a little note, Matt, of that chance for Anderson.
Yeah.
Shot across the face of goal, and I mean, great noise coming out of that stand as England come forward again. Kane left foot shot, there it is! It's 2-0, and Harry Kane scores from inside the D. Typical Kane. As he fell, struck it perfectly. Goalkeeper diving down to his right, couldn't get there. And Kane scores yet again for England. 75 goals now to extend his record. And it's Latvia 0, England 2.
Well, it's Latvia trying to play out. They get caught out. The ball rebounds into Harry Kane. And it's the last person on the pitch that you want the ball to come to in this area. Takes it on his left foot, drifts inside into that D on the edge of the 18-yard box. And it's a fantastic finish with his left foot. I mean, left foot, right foot, head, any kind of finish. That is a brilliant finish, technically. He's leaning, John, so all his body weight's coming onto the ball. He puts a nice bit of shape, gets good contact with his left foot, bit of curve on it, bouncing with pace into the bottom corner. Fantastic finish on your left foot from that position. I mean, that is world class, and you just cannot allow the ball to bounce to him in that kind of situation is absolutely lethal.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen him score that goal. So many times.
I know, but it's either foot, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the impressive thing. He's got the quality to be that precise with either foot. I mean, it's top stuff.
And that's from years of working, dedication, and making himself as good with each foot. So 2-0. Rice with a cross now to the back post. That's headed down by Kane, and it's blocked on the edge of the 6-yard area. He headed it down into the ground, and it was deflected up and wide of the goal for an England corner.
Yeah, but body language of the Latvian players has gone, and I think that this could be a very challenging second half for Latvia if they don't come out with a slightly better persona about them. England just completely dominating this game and look like they could score at will at the moment.
It was actually a decent save, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good, because it bounced right in front of the goalkeeper as Kane heads it down. It hits the turf, and he's got to save it kind of on the way up.
But he did, and he pushed it away wide. He was at fault for one of the Andorra goals, Zviedris, at the weekend. Well, here's the corner, and they are crowding the goalkeeper, and in it comes, and Zviedris does well. He gets his right arm to it under severe pressure there. Defenders, attackers, and it was a packed 6-yard area, and the goalkeeper did well on the stretch to hook it away. So we are 1 minute of added time. Harry Kane's scored again for England. As I say, 75 goals now. This is his 110th appearance. He's 5th on the list of most appearances, and he's setting a target here, Harry Kane, the age of 32 now, that very likely won't be caught for maybe decades and decades and decades. And here's Rice carrying the ball forward, but the referee's spotted an infringement and he's stopped play. And what is happening here? He's walking across to Esri Konsa, and he's actually going to the screen. So this, I'm guessing, this could be a penalty for England.
Was this from the corner?
Is it from... potentially, because I mean the
corner, I would say,
box was absolutely packed.
Whether or not VAR have taken some time to find some kind of holding offence from a player.
I mean, he's in splendid isolation, the referee over there on the
no pressure over there, unless the trees are going to get onto him.
And the suggestion is that Kane was shoved over by his opposite number, Cherno Mordis.
I don't know about that.
And it's been given. The penalty's given. And yellow cards coming out for Antonis Chernomordis as well, who shoved over Harry Kane. I think Kane
was that a shove?
I think Kane's bought that one, hasn't he?
I'm not sure about VAR getting involved in that. I mean, if the referee gives it on field, you'd expect them to kind of have a good look at it, but I'm not sure there was quite enough. From what I only saw a brief slow-mo, but it looked like Kane was more than happy to feel the contact and go down to the floor.
And suddenly the heavens have opened as Harry Kane picks himself up and is preparing to take this. We've got Baltic rain coming straight down on the pitch, and Harry Kane just steps away, but then actually comes back again and re-spots the ball. So Harry Kane, this is his 28th penalty for England. England's number 9 to make it 3-0 and surely put the outcome beyond doubt. With his right foot, he sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. It's 3-0 to England. Kane scored 2 of them, and this scoreline is going to take England to the World Cup in 2026. There's little doubt of that now, even though it's still not half-time. Latvia 0, England 3.
Yeah, I mean, when the second goal went in, Latvia absolutely just body language collapsed, and yeah, they've not had a good 5 minutes. I mean, I think it's more holding on the penalty than anything. There's a big grab of the shirt from Cherno Mordis, which I think then Kane falls to the floor, but I'm not sure the grab of the shirt forced the drop to the floor. But Harry Kane taking no prisoners with that penalty. Bottom corner to the goalkeeper's right, straight with power into the side of the net. Brilliant penalty.
And the half-time whistle has gone, and England are in complete charge of this World Cup qualifier. Latvia 0, England 3, and you know what as well, Harry Kane, this will be the 6th major tournament, World Cup, European Championship, that he'll have been to. And when England have clinched qualification for the previous 5, Kane has scored in every single one of those matches, and he's got 2 here tonight. And he and England have been unstoppable, Matt.
Yeah, just phenomenal goal scorer that he is. I mean, he should have a hat-trick, really, which tells you how good England have been. I mean, Latvia haven't put up that much of a fight. They had a go first 15, 20 minutes, but the moment the first goal went in, they've not given a good account of themselves. But England have done well. I have to say, they've got good movement, good balance. You know, the players look hungry, the physicality's there, the directness is there. It's been a very good away performance so far.
So that's for Harry Kane, 3 goals for England this season, 18 goals for Bayern Munich, so that's 21. And where is he in comparison to Erling Haaland now, whose exploits I'm sure have not been missed by the England captain? Haaland also 21 goals for club and country so far this season, and Portugal are now 2-1 up on Hungary. As we've mentioned, Portugal, it is possible for them, and it's Ronaldo who scored again in that match. It is possible for Portugal to clinch their place at the World Cup as well tonight, and Italy winning 1-0 against Israel, I see, as well. But there we are, that's it, half-time here in Riga. Latvia 0, England 3. Kelly.
John Murray, Ian Dennis and Matthew Upson in Riga, thank you very much. We will be back with them for the second half of that game, but England very much in control. England fans really enjoying themselves. You may have started to hear that coming through on the radio. Thomas Tuchel has been complaining that Wembley was a bit quiet the other day, so the England fans have been singing "Are We Loud Enough For You?" amongst other things in Riga this evening. Conor Cody is with us as well. Conor, we'll get your thoughts on that penalty decision in a second, but overall, it's the first half that we thought it would be. England absolutely dominant, and they could be more than 3 up, to be honest, at half-time.
They've been great. They've been professional. They've been everything we expected, Kelly, haven't they? The way they've played, the way they've moved the ball from side to side. It was funny, actually, because they've had all the ball, and the first goal comes from John Stones being clever, understanding the game, and just flipping it in behind for Anthony Gordon to run in behind and score a fantastic goal. But yeah, I think it was everything we expected, but we expected England to put on a bit of a show, and they've been fantastic. So long may it continue in the second half.
Yeah, and they're showing that they're able to break down Latvia. However, that third goal came from... I'm going to say, I mean, sometimes in European games, you get penalties that wouldn't necessarily be given in the Premier League. I'm not sure where this one is on the scale.
Yeah, do you know what I've just been saying there about, do you know if it was anyone other than a Harry Kane, we'd probably give him a bit of stick, wouldn't we? Oh, he's dived, but because we love Harry Kane, he's done. Listen, it wasn't a dive, he's obviously felt it.
He's been clever, and he's played for it.
But we would always say that with Harry Kane, wouldn't we? If someone else, we'd be giving him a bit of stick, but listen, he's played for it. He's a clever footballer, and listen, he practices penalties the day before every game, and we've seen a little bit of a change in technique, a little bit of a stutter. Usually he whips it into the corner, and he did whip it into the corner, but the little stutter before was lovely, and you expected nothing else from him.
Yeah, and the England's second goal, Harry Kane's first goal of the game, and they said it in commentary, it felt like a blueprint of a Harry Kane goal.
It did, and it was a brilliant bit of play, and the one play you want it to fall to, and listen, you'd say that about a lot of England players, but just his record, he's been on 76 goals now and 110 caps is remarkable. The numbers he's putting up are fantastic this season, both for club and country, and you want it to fall to one man, right or left foot, and it falls to Harry Kane, and the way he puts it in the corner, and the positions he finds himself in to find these goals and find the side netting of the goal, the detail he puts into his finishing is all down to repetition. And like I said, to fall to him on the edge of the box, for Latvia, you don't want it to fall to him, but for us, it's inevitable. It's going to end up in the back of the net.
So a couple of goals for Harry Kane in the first half of that game, one for Anthony Gordon as well. Connor's going to be with us throughout the evening, and we'll be back in Riga very shortly for the second half commentary. First though, it's time for the BBC News with Ryan Dobney.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Israel's military says the Red Cross is on its way to Gaza to pick up the remains of more deceased hostages. Hamas says it'll release between 4 and 6 more bodies after handing over 4 yesterday. While speaking at the White House in the past hour, President Trump was asked whether Hamas would disarm in line with his peace plan.
Well, they're going to disarm because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. We did something monumental. We got the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. It seems as though they don't have that.
The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has announced that foreign nationals applying to work in the UK will have to learn English to an A-level standard before they can get a visa. The change comes into force in January. Dr Ben Brindle is a researcher at the Migration Observatory. He told 5 Live Drive who it might affect the most.
In terms of who is likely to be more affected, it's going to be people who aren't here for economic reasons, like work migrants. It might fall more onto the partners of British citizens, and then that's really a question there for the government. Where is this the right line to set?
A small boats migrant who shared his journey to the UK from Sweden on TikTok has been sentenced to 5 years in prison after threatening to kill Nigel Farage. 26-year-old Afghan national Fayaz Khan, whose real name is Fayaz Husseini, made the threat in a video on social media. And the American R&B singer D'Angelo has died of cancer at the age of 51. He was a central figure in what became known as neo-soul in the late 1990s, a style that blended classic soul with hip-hop, jazz and funk.
On BBC iPlayer.
Women like us are invisible. Do you want to be in a rock band?
Sometimes you just need friends to turn up the volume.
Is everybody ready?
What's your band going to be called, Brennan?
The Old Bags Department? We sing songs about being middle-aged and menopausal.
You're on in 5.
We're going to nail it.
From the writer and creator of Happy Valley.
This is our time. We need to grasp it.
Riot Women. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Kelly Cates.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We will be back in Latvia very shortly for second half commentary of Latvia against England. England 3-0 up at the break. Couple of goals from Harry Kane, including a penalty, plus an opening goal from Anthony Gordon means that England are all set to qualify for next summer's World Cup in America, Mexico and Canada. We'll be back there very shortly. First, though, we're going to go to the cricket, because if England can beat Pakistan tomorrow in the Women's World Cup, they'll be in a very strong position to seal a semi-final place. Dan Norcross and Fionn Wynne have been looking at England's chances.
So England take on Pakistan tomorrow in Colombo. They currently are unbeaten. They've played 3, they've won 3. If they can win tomorrow's match, they've got, more than 1 foot in the semi-finals, you would think. Fionn Wynne is alongside me, BBC cricket writer. They'll be expected to win this game. Pakistan, the weakest side in the tournament so far.
Yeah, England will go into this as strong favourites. Pakistan haven't won a game yet. They came close against Australia. We thought that we might finally see Australia show some vulnerability, but no, they went from 76 for 7 to 221, as they do. But they've got really effective spinners, Pakistan, and they've played every game here in Colombo, so they'll be a little bit more familiar with the conditions than England. Though, under Charlotte Edwards' leadership, I can't see England taking them lightly. But yeah, they should be contenders to go 4 from 4.
The problem for Pakistan is that the conditions that will suit them will also suit England's spinners, who bowled absolutely magnificently against the host Sri Lanka here. Sophie Eccleston picking up 4 wickets, looks absolutely matchless at the moment. The world's #1 bowler, leading wicket taker in this World Cup. And they're starting to find their feet with the bat, with their captain coming into form with that 114 from Nat Sivabrunt in the last game. So they're starting to put together what looks like a pretty good run of form.
Absolutely. I think they could do with a few more contributions from other batters, particularly in the top order. We've seen match-winning contributions from Heather Knight and Nat Sivabrunt. They're 2 experienced heads, and in these conditions, which are proving really difficult, that's probably what you would expect. They've played here before. They've played the most for England, but it's proven to be a really difficult tournament for openers. So there's a little bit of pressure on Tammy Beaumont and Amy Jones to step up. Sophia Dunkley's been short of runs. Emma Lamb is looking to struggle a little bit at number 6. It's not where she's used to batting, but the point is that somebody is always stepping up, and that is the most promising thing for them, with much greater challenges to come in India and Australia, and then they should make a semi-final, and that's when we'll find out where they're at, against the top sides and under pressure. But all they can do at this point is beat the teams in front of them. It's not their fault that the fixtures have been quite kind to them. And if they can go into those games against India and Australia, which are their next 2 after Pakistan, if they can go into those unbeaten, then they couldn't have asked for any more than that.
And to do that, they will have to beat the side that sits at the bottom of the table, Pakistan, tomorrow. But the odds are certainly in their favour.
That was Dan Norcross and Fionn Wynne, and TMS will bring you ball-by-ball commentary live from 10:15 tomorrow morning on Sports Extra. Earlier today, Sri Lanka and New Zealand each took a point when their match was abandoned due to rain. Stuart Broad says Australia's Ashes team is their worst since 2010. He was reacting to David Warner's prediction that England will lose the series 4-0.
It's very, very difficult to win in Australia as an England side. It just is, or any side. Australia have to be massive favourites. The question really was which team's under the most pressure. Well, Australia are under the most pressure because they're expected to win. They're brilliant at home, but they've got question marks over their team and question marks over their captain, the fitness. You wouldn't be outlandish in thinking, well, it's actually not an opinion, it's a fact. It's probably the worst Australian team since 2010 when England last won, and it's the best English team since 2010. So those things match up to the fact it's going to be a brilliant Ashes series. You know, Australia have been so consistent for a long period of time that you just knew who was going to open the batting, who was going to bat, what bowlers there were. And they don't have that. And it's very much a similar situation to 2010-11 when England went and won there. The fact of the matter is Australia generally have to be bad to lose in Australia, and England have to be very good. England have a great chance of being very good, and Australia have a decent chance of being bad.
Fighting talk from Stuart Broad on the latest episode of For the Love of Cricket. You can listen to that in full on BBC Sounds. Tomorrow on 5 Live Sport, we'll bring you full match commentary of Chelsea's first home game in the Women's Champions League. They welcome Paris FC to Stamford Bridge, and Vicky Sparks is going to be on commentary duty. Vicky, Chelsea unbeaten in the league so far, but it wasn't entirely comfortable for Sonia Bonpastor and her side in their opener against 20.
No, it wasn't. They dropped points and they needed a late penalty to rescue that point as well. And with this new Champions League format in the women's game, which is following suit, as we've seen in the men's Champions League, an introduction of a league phase this season. In the women's Champions League, there's 18 teams. Only the top 4 go through automatically to the quarterfinals. The next 8 then go into a playoff round to see if they will then make that last 8. And, you know, with sides like Barcelona to come, runners up in the Champions League final to Arsenal last season. FC Twente, yes, the Dutch champions, but not one of the big hitters in Europe in the women's game. Absolutely not a game in which Chelsea would have foreseen dropping points. So this is a really big game for them at home to Paris because, you know, drop points again. And then you're looking at that Barcelona game as well, which is going to be a huge test for Chelsea, and thinking, well, actually, they're giving themselves a real mountain to climb to finish in that top 4 and go straight through to the quarterfinals.
Vicky, how much of an issue have injuries been for Chelsea? Or clearly not in the WSL, but are we seeing it kind of affect them in the Champions League?
Yeah, they do have some big players out. Still, the likes of Kadisha Buchanan, Naomi Girma, Lauren James, of course, who's also not been included in the latest England squad because of injury, and Myra Ramirez. They've just got Lucy Bronze and Niamh Charles back from injury. But I think the bigger problem, Kelly, and it's something that Sonia Bonpastor is clearly infuriated by their manager because she keeps mentioning it. It's not for want of trying, Chelsea, in terms of chances, both against FC Twente, and I was at Kingsmeadow on Sunday for 5 Live when they beat Tottenham by a goal to nil. Chelsea had 27 shots in that game, but only 4 of them were on target, and it was just the 1 goal by which they won. And I think that is the key at the moment. They're getting into really good positions, but it's the final cross, the final shot, the final ball that's letting them down at the moment. And as Bonpastor said, look, they had so many chances in that opener against FC Twente, but they couldn't find the breakthrough. Twente scored a super goal to put them ahead, and they end up not killing the opposition's hope, was the way she put it. And I think that's the bigger problem for them at the moment.
Vicky, good to talk to you. Thank you so much. I know there's going to be lots more build-up tomorrow night. Vicky's going to be joined by Rachel Coursey, live from Stamford Bridge for commentary of Chelsea against Paris FC. That's live from 7 o'clock ahead of an 8 o'clock kickoff. In Riga for us this evening, with England leading Latvia by 3-0. Matthew Upson, John Murray, and first of all, Ian Dennis.
Lady Kelly, your timing is perfection as we are back underway here in the pouring rain in Riga, and Latvia have made a change as well, that Tony Sevs has come on for Jukovskis. That's a half-time change being made by Paolo Nicolau, their Italian coach, who's going to come under a little bit of pressure, I can tell you, because the locals haven't been happy with him so far. Just 3 wins in his previous 17 games in charge since he took over in February 2024. Used to be looking after the Italian youth teams, all the way up to the under-21s from 2016 to 2023. But, well, Latvia have been second best throughout tonight. England have dominated from the very first whistle. They are leading by 3-0. England haven't made any alterations, so they have Pickford in goal, Spence, Conser, Stones and Lewis Skelly, Anderson, Saka, Rice, Rodgers and Gordon and Harry Kane with 2 goals, one of them a penalty in that first half. So 3-0 and more than on their way to the Americas for World Cup qualification next summer. However, Thomas Tuchel, I'm sure, would have said to his players, listen, you're in this position against Wales on Thursday, you didn't build on that, I don't want any let-up, as Gordon sends over a cross and Spence keeps it alive inside the penalty area. Rodgers is there, and then it was able to get the ball away from Zelenkovs in the midfield. Latvia then with Zvidris in goal. It's going to be Vipes, Chernomordis, Belodis as the back three, Tonises, Varslans, Vatne, Zelenkovs, Siganyks, and then Gudkovskis and Ikaniks as the two up front in the all carmine red, with that little flash of orange down the side of the shirts, a little bit of white in there as well.
What's the carmine?
Well, I went to see whether it was sort of like a maroon or a burgundy, but the official colour for Latvia is carmine red.
Is it?
Yeah. The red symbolises courage and struggle. The white on their flag, nobility and openness.
Sounds lovely.
Well, they've certainly struggled in this game so far, I can tell you, 2.5 minutes in.
It's the reaction after, I think it was the second goal went in. There was a shift in the body language of Latvia. I think that, before that, they're at home, they're playing England, they're trying to showcase themselves and do the best they can, but it's just kind of dropped off, and we'll see start this second half now if they've got a little bit more bounce in their step. But it is difficult. It's demoralising when you've just not got the ball and you're defending all the time.
And Anderson again wins the ball. He tracked over to this near side, got his foot into the challenge, got the ball towards Saka. He just does it so effectively, does Elliot Anderson, who really it's been seamless, the way that he's just slotted into international football.
It makes it harder, like the Bellingham situation, that adds another dimension to it as well, because it's not even, you could then play him deeper with Rice, with how well Anderson is doing. You know what I mean? It takes that off the table as well for Thomas Tuchel almost.
It is a bleak night in the Baltics. The rain pouring down. It's cold. And the England supporters, I don't think Thomas Tuchel criticised the crowd at Wembley last Thursday, saying they were too silent. I don't think anybody could ever criticise the England away support. They're extremely loyal. Yeah. They're extremely vocal wherever England will travel. But throughout that first half, they were going through the full repertoire. Some that I'm unable to repeat, but Tuchel, give us a song. 2-0 to the Library was won at one stage.
I think...
Are we loud enough for you?
Yeah, I think he got the feeling in that home game, because it was he mentioned it was the derby game, didn't he? And I don't know whether expecting that, and obviously the voice that the Welsh fans always carry with them is pretty spectacular, isn't it, with their supporters. I think that's probably made it feel the way it did for him.
But I think it's fair to point out that in the pouring rain and the cold, and I necessarily
fair play to them. No, fair play to them.
There are a number. In fact, I'll tell you where they've gone. In fact, you can't beat football fans for improvising and adapting to a situation. I was thinking they might have disappeared, but they haven't. They've actually gone underneath the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's elevated on like concrete platforms that end away towards our right. They're watching behind the metal gates now on that right-hand side, the England supporters. And I don't blame them as they shelter from the pouring rain. As England playing from left to right, all in white, leading by 3-0. They've got a free kick, which is almost level with the Latvian penalty area. And this one is curled, and it's fired in. And it got a touch off a Latvian head in a very crowded penalty area, and Harry Kane was desperate to get on the end of that. What is that now? 76 goals in his 110th game.
Frightening. Really amazing numbers, but that delivery from Declan Rice with his right foot, his set-piece delivery now is so good.
Corner taken quickly, the goalkeeper palms the ball away, only as far as Gordon, controls it, plays it towards Harry Kane, backheels the ball towards Gordon, and then it's broken up over on that far side by Roberts Vipes, and they try and run it away on that far side. Just looking at Harry Kane as well, who's scored the most competitive goals for England. That is 68 competitive goals in 92 competitive games. And
with finishing like that left-footed goal, Deno, you can see why, can't you? It's top of the game stuff, that.
Well, with the one he missed in the first half, he easily could have had a hat-trick.
Yeah,
he had a goal disallowed inside the opening 60 seconds too, remember. They lead 3-0 to England. On this near side, the blonde-haired figure of Tony Sevs, the substitute. England, though, are quick to try and hunt in packs again and close down Latvia. And that's what Thomas Tuchel will want them to maintain, that intensity. And then you'll have that raft of substitutions that we had on Thursday, for players to come off the bench and also to try and make their impression.
I think a big part of this now that he'll want to see the team be ruthless. He'll want to see, no ease up whatsoever on that reaction to win the ball back, the work rate. He'll want to, if anything, see it get even better.
Spence, his header in field, tied it up by Stones all the way to Jordan Pickford, who will be looking to extend his own record now. He's beat that one that he shared with Gordon Banks previously. It'll be a 9th consecutive clean sheet for Jordan Pickford, and his 42nd in total on what is his 80th appearance.
It'd be some achievement to go through a qualification group without conceding a goal, Deno, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well,
I mean, I don't know how many times that's happened, but I can't think very many.
I was looking at half-time. The last time it happened was for Italia 90.
Was it?
But they only played 8 games, and I think it also happened in 86 as well, when England qualified for Mexico 86. England, though, now have scored in each of their last 18 games. The last time it was 18 was back in 1950 to 1955, although they're still some way short of the record of 52, which was 1884 to 1902. So that will take you well beyond Thomas Tuchel's reign as an England manager. As here is Spence. The rain continuing to team down. Rodgers back towards Anderson once again, as he plays the ball hard to the feet of Saka from Anderson, and Saka now has Spence just behind him. Rodgers inside the penalty area. Anderson is available, gets it out, turns on the inside, passes the ball now towards Lewis Skelly. Lewis Skelly passes the ball back, and John Stones passes the ball out to the left, where Declan Rice is the one who provides the width. Gordon's on the inside. England still passing it around sharply and swiftly.
You see, when that ball got set back to Anderson there, I felt he probably should have crossed it first time with his right foot, but we had 3 players from midfield. I think it was Rodgers, Rice, Kane and Gordon was tucking in, all arriving in the box for that cross.
Here is Saka level with the penalty area, rolls it gently back towards Anderson. Judging by the hand actions of Matt Upson, he was expecting Anderson again to whip that ball in early, but he didn't. They're patient, they go back. Stones then out towards Rice. Gordon then makes that run from in to out on that left-hand side, but Rice now runs in field, 35 yards out from goal. Rodgers to Saka on the stretch, edge of the area. Move breaks down, but again, as soon as they lose the ball, England then are quick to win it back. Although the turn away there by Ikalniks, and he's got Gudkowski's away. Here is the penalty area, and Konsa has made a terrific challenge to get back to the Latvian striker, and it had to be a well-timed challenge, otherwise he runs the risk of giving away a penalty, and it was exactly that.
I got it absolutely spot on. Brilliant tackle from Konsa, and he has to he kind of wraps himself around the player as well to win the ball, because if he goes straight for the ball, it'll end up going through the player first, so he has to kind of run a good yard or so, a little bit wider and past him in order to make that tackle. Just nearly got caught out there a little bit. I think he expected Anderson to keep hold of the ball in midfield. It got taken, and then we were a little bit exposed.
Well, here he is now again. Vladislav Gudkowskis on the right-hand side. And he wriggles away from one challenge, and then he shoots left-footed. And that had the Latvian supporters giving a little bit of an ooh and an ah, because they haven't had much to get excited about tonight. He scored his first international goal in 3 years in that 2-2 draw against Andorra. He only had one thing on his mind there, but it flashed away off his left boot, and it's gone out for a goal kick. That would have been a spectacular goal.
It would have. It was a fair way wide. I'm just looking at the replay of the Konsa tackle. It's a brilliant tackle. It really is. He gets around the player. really good technical tackle, goes to ground, but very measured from Concert. Really good recovery.
This is England's first visit to Riga. They met for the first time back in March, where England won by 3-0 at Wembley. But in fact, none of the Baltic nations have actually scored a goal against England. Estonia played 4, lost 4. Lithuania likewise. They've conceded 9 and 10 goals respectively. So not only could Gakowskis there had become the first Latvian goal scorer for the Baltic nations, he might have created his own little bit of history here. 11 minutes into the second half, in these wet conditions, as England with Concert trotting his way in towards to the centre circle, and then passes the ball out towards Rice. Anderson lifts the ball over the top, looking for Gordon. And Gordon will get there. It was unable to be kept out there by Tonisevs. Ball into the air. Rice brings it down effortlessly, controls it. Anderson, Spence quickly passes it out towards Saka on this near side. Ganyik is snapping away at his heels, but Saka towards Spence. Forward ball, Rodgers. Rice wants it. Rice gets it, receives it now from Rodgers. Looking then for Lewis Skelly on the overlap, as Spain are now leading Bulgaria 2-0. Arsenal's Mikel Merino has got that one, and Serbia have come from behind. Andorra 1, Serbia 2 is the latest score in England's Group K. But England still yet to concede, incidentally, and looking for the 6th straight win in Group K. There's the Rabona there from...
It's a bit cheeky, isn't it?
From Jed Spence with a cross from the right-hand side.
Entertaining the England fans that end of the ground.
Just goes to show the confidence of the young man on what is only his 3rd appearance. Rodgers had made a good run off the ball there, and Anderson couldn't find him as he ran into the inside right channel. Instead they go out towards Gordon. Spence wants it. He also had the option of Concert, committing white shirts forward. Now out towards Saka. Saka has Siganyix in front of him, rolls it back. Spence, first time cross with pace, and the goalkeeper's struggling there, and it's gone in. That, I think, is going to go down as an own goal. England get their 4th goal and are more than well on their way now to the World Cup next summer. For me, that was all about the pace of the ball from Spence, the delivery. Siganyix, I think, might have been the unfortunate player.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper doesn't cover himself in glory, because if you're going to come for that ball, you've got to get more of a touch on it than he does. I mean, the delivery's superb. Saka sets it back. It's whipped first time from Spence. It's a nice height, but the goalkeeper comes to deal with it, and he just flaps at it, really, doesn't get any kind of contact, and then he just puts his defender right in trouble, because it ends up just coming off the boot. I mean, how that squeaks into the back post, because he's a good 2 or 3 yards further back outside of the back post, but it just hits him in the shin, spins up in the air agonisingly, and just creeps inside that back post. It's a poor piece of goalkeeping, that.
And now here, all of a sudden, with that 4th goal, Thomas Tuchel, without any hesitation, is going to make a raft of changes. We're going to see Jordan Henderson, Jared Bowen and Eberechi Eze coming on. Declan Rice is coming off as well. So Henderson comes on for Declan Rice, gets a pat on the back and a hearty slap as well, it was, from Thomas Tuchel. Rodgers is coming off for Jared Bowen, and there's almost the high fives there for Thomas Tuchel to greet the PFA Young Player of the Year. And then Saka is also coming off as well. So they're the changes that England have made, Matt.
Yeah, it makes total sense, doesn't it? I mean, if I'm honest, you could have subbed them, you know, any time, even at half-time, because the game's wrapped up at half-time for sure. But I think the plan is to do it on an hour, so you stick to the plan, because the plan's working well, and it makes sense to give these players an opportunity to get on the pitch and get into the rhythm and play in the team, and also to rest those players that have been playing a lot of minutes.
Turkey 4, Georgia 0 is a latest score in Group E. So England and Portugal are going to be the latest teams to qualify for the World Cup as it currently stands, as Gordon keeps the ball in play on that left-hand side, darts down the byline, passes the ball back to Lewis Skelly, and then Henderson will get a touch as well. Jordan Henderson, who's making his 87th appearance for England tonight, and then Gordon rattles the board hard off the shins of Voslavens, and behind it'll go for a corner kick. England 4-0 up, 61 minutes played.
Yeah, nice opportunity to work on these set plays as well. As I said beforehand, is hugely important leading into a major tournament, getting organised, being a threat. I think we have been in this game, certainly with the delivery from Declan Rice is generally spot on. It's really inviting balls, but this one's a little bit different. All the players have literally just crowded the goal line in and around the goalkeeper, and it's an in-swinging right-footed corner.
Eza clips it across, and it's caused confusion in the Latvian defence, and they've quickly turned the ball behind. Eberici Eza once again wanders across in front of those trees that line that far side. There must be, 20 of them? Tilia trees. Large-leaved lime trees.
Nice, isn't it?
They are. Yeah. There's Eza waits once again with another corner kick. What an extremely congested 6-yard area this is. Stones rises in the air, bit of a scramble. Gordon with a turn and shot blocked, and then the ball is cleared away by Siganics. I think actually the own goal came off the rather unfortunate substitute Toniceps rather than Siganics for that fourth goal from the Spence cross, as England qualifying in some style with 2 games to spare. What I said, by the way, about this stadium on social media, I said last night I came out just before Jordan Pickford and I took a little panoramic view of the entire stadium, and I said something along the lines of one of the more unusual international venues. I don't think it's been well received by a few in Riga. One content creator, is that what they call them these days?
Okay.
She said this is hardly a compliment. She actually said it in Latvian.
Right.
So I responded saying it wasn't meant to be criticism either.
No.
I responded in Latvian to that.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't know you could. You always do tend to try and get a bit of the native.
Well, I needed Google Translate.
I'm just impressed that you knew what trees they were. I didn't know you were that green-fingered then.
Well, I'm slightly better being green-fingered than I am with a medical, being an expert. When I said to Danny Ward last week about how's the shoulder, and it was his elbow. But here is Eza passing the ball back. Now Anderson, although I've got to confess, I did need it. I've got an app that I use in my garden, and I used it to identify which trees they were too.
Did you?
I did, yeah. I'm getting down with the technology these days.
Did you put that on social media as well? Did that get any criticism?
63 minutes played. The answer to that is no. Matt Oakson is with us. Conor Cody back in the studio on air until 10:30. Then Tony Livesey takes through. We'll have more football for you tomorrow night. The Champions League game between Chelsea and Paris, and of course the Premier League is back at the weekend. Manchester City Everton at 3, Fulham Arsenal at 5:30, and then on Sunday Tottenham Aston Villa as Eza shoots first time. Good save by the goalkeeper as Vidris was down low and had to react very, very quickly away to his right to keep out Eza's first time left-footed shot. England almost close to a 5th goal. Liverpool Manchester United, just to finish off that vocal trail for our weekend offering. Matt.
Yeah, really good from England again. It's just picking Latvia off at will. The game's dead and buried in terms of the outcome. England have sealed this match comfortably, but it's about how they conduct themselves now all the way through, and Thomas Tuchel will keep an eye on everyone. Nobody slacking off, nobody taking it easy, maintaining the standards, and they're doing that really well. You just feel there's going to be probably more goals to come in this game. There's still a fair old way to go.
There is. We're not even midway through the second half yet, but England already leading by 4-0. There's Hardy Souls getting absolutely soaked. Around 2,500 high up away towards our right-hand side as Gordon on the left. Dashkovic waits to come on. Edwards Dashkovic. He moved to Auda, a Latvian club in the summer. It'll be his 22nd Latvian appearance out of the last 25 internationals. As here is Eza. Latvia, though, still defending in numbers. Eza forward towards Spence. Spence with a low ball in. The goalkeeper gathers it in safely as he falls to the ground inside his 6-yard area. Spence has been good at that tonight.
He has. How well did he time that? Then the timing of the run was perfect. He saw the situation, read it, and he went really early. Was found with the pass, puts the ball in the right channel. Just didn't have anyone running across the face of the defender.
Anderson picks up the ball, drives forward. Edge of the area, looks for Jared Bowen, and then it required the intervention from Saganics just to get there and actually avoid the leaping goalkeeper who was diving at his own feet of his own player to clear the ball away as the rain drives down with even more intensity now. And in fact, the change is going to be Varslavens coming off and Dashkovic is going to be coming on. That is like for like, just a fresh pair of legs in the midfield for some tired bodies for this Latvian side that are looking rather bedraggled in the rain.
Yeah, I mean, they have done for quite some time. They've really been struggling physically to get to grips with this English team, who look the exact opposite, I must say. They look bright, they look sharp, plenty of energy in the team. I think physically the squad as a whole is in a very good place at the moment.
You can see puddles starting to form on the athletics track in front of us. Incidentally, a Guinness World Record was set here in 2008 to celebrate the 90th anniversary of the independence of Latvia, as Bowen on this right-hand side tries to cut inside off his left foot, well wide, a goal kick.
Go on then.
It was the most recorded, 3,807 people, the most recorded ran up in a 100-metre in a 24-hour relay. Why they didn't wait until 2018 to mark the 100th anniversary for the 100 metres, that would have had a bit of symmetry about it, would it not?
It would have made much more sense. What's they just ran it consecutively?
Yeah.
24 hours, yeah.
3,807. But that was some time ago. I feel as if they've done a lot of running tonight. Saganics is on herring after this ball, and he continues to pursue it. Jordan Pickford comes out of his penalty area, plays the ball out of play, but quickly is back in position as Latvia take the throw quickly on the left-hand side.
I think Pickford just delighted to be involved in the game for a period of time.
A rare touch. In comes the cross. Right fall here for the substitute, and it fires it wide from Tonisev's right foot. It took a deflection on its way through, and that will go out of play for a corner kick. They haven't had a couple of moments in this second half, I guess.
Yeah, good effort. Really nice effort with the right foot. It comes all the way across to the right-hand side. Clicked out to the edge of the box, and it's a first-time effort. Strikes it really cleanly, actually zips off the turf and just wide. Little deflection on the way through.
They played the corner short, and then Pickford makes the save, and then the acrobatic effort is well off target. But Dashkovic certainly caught hold of that left-footed, and Jordan Pickford then was called into action for his first save, and he earned his money as well. England lead by 4-0. They're on their way to qualify for the World Cup. And here now to take you through, as some more substitutions are in the offing, is a substitution of our own, John Murray.
Yes, it's going to be Dan Burn who's going to come on next for England, just wandering up to the side of the pitch across the damp running track. But Jordan Pickford will feel that he's contributed after that sharp save, wasn't it? It was a well-struck shot by Dashkovic, and he parried it away. A little bit like the Wales game the other night when he had to make a couple of saves in the second half and did so well. England at the other end now with a chance which Anderson shoots. That's blocked across the penalty area. Bowen can't get there and it bounces down for Latvia and cleared up. Jordan Henderson stretching, just got his head to it and was able to, with that glance, take it back to John Stones. Yes, Jordan Henderson's 87th cap tonight. John Stones' 85th. Now here is Jed Spence on the right-hand side, as Elliot Anderson was quite heavily challenged from behind by Dashkovic, but England still with it as they play from left to right. The home supporters, as you can hear, despite the 4-0 scoreline, have turned up the volume, and still lots of empty seats in the England section, as Ian was describing. Many of the England fans have come down and are watching from ground level, from underneath the stand, peering through the metal fences. I'm sure there'll be pictures of that, because all of the photographers are at this end of the ground. They won't have missed that opportunity. Here's Spence, does well, beats his man, then comes back onto his right foot, and now with the ball stationary on the ground, Spence, a little swivel of the hips. Jordan Henderson wins the throw-in with a deflection, level with the edge of the Latvia penalty area, and we're going to see Marcus Rashford as well. So Byrne and Rashford are going to come on, and that is it for Anthony Gordon on the night that he scored his second goal for England. He opened the scoring for England this evening, and Marcus Rashford on loan with Barcelona. But judging by what Thomas Tuchel was saying the other evening, he's got work to do to make sure of his place in the England squad. And Gordon comes off, done well again, Matt.
Yeah, really pleased with Anthony Gordon. I thought he had an excellent game, worked hard, looked like he was going to create, put good balls in the box, got his goal. And I think just upping those numbers, just getting that goal and assist, having more reward for the work that he does is going to take him to the next level.
And John Stone's evening is over as well. And Dan Burn has come on to replace him, the Newcastle man, winning his 4th cap for England after making his debut, being the surprise selection in Thomas Tuchel's first squad. He's been a part of the whole thing throughout the now 8 matches, and as I say, winning his 4th cap tonight. Here is Rashford into the action for the first time, black gloves on, then plays it back. Henderson works it to the left-hand side. In comes the cross from Lewis Skelly, which is deflected behind for another England corner.
I must say, when Marcus Rashford is able to shift that ball inside onto his right foot, when he hits that ball, John, it's like an absolute rocket, isn't it? It has horrible movement on it for the goalkeeper. If he can manufacture that half a yard, he's one of the best in the business at hitting that right foot shot coming inside the pitch, and he looks for it every time.
So that's 5 substitutions, isn't it, for England now?
Yep.
And Eza will take this corner from over there on the far side, almost in the shadow of those trees. Flagpoles behind him, the flags hanging limply, and one of those massive grey floodlight pylons towering over him there, and the lamps on it. There must be 25 lamps on that.
It's like War of the Worlds.
It is. It's exactly what it's like. So a bit of H.G. Wells in Riga, and a packed penalty area. Again, they are crowding the goalkeeper. Eza is just going to drop this in, which he does now to the near post, and it's headed away for Latvia. 4-0 England lead, and on their way to confirming their place at the World Cup next summer. And we are going to see changes. 2 more for Latvia. Turkey now winning 4-1 against Georgia. And Gutkovskis, the number 9, is going to be replaced by the number 20, Marco Regza, who will win his 14th cap up front. And also leaving the field is Lukas Vapna in the midfield, with coming onto the field is Savalievs into the midfield. Alexei Savalievs, who started against Andorra here at the weekend and is now on the pitch, the number 22, Savalievs. So if you just switched onto us on 5 Live, England on the way to confirming qualification with 2 matches to spare. Anthony Gordon scoring the first goal in the first half, 2 goals from Harry Kane, the second of a penalty just before the break, and then the Tonisev's own goal in the second half. And England have not let up, which you wouldn't expect them to do.
Well, it's easily done though, John, isn't it? I know we're not expecting it because of the mindset they're at, but it's very easy to take your foot off the gas in these kind of situations, and you're right, they really haven't done England. They've played with the same purpose and same quality.
And Konza works it to the right-hand side. Jed Spence starting as the right back with Lewis Skelly at left back. So the full-backs who did so well in Serbia, Livramento and Reece James, ruled out of this, but Spence and Lewis Skelly have not done themselves any harm. And Spence now to Bourne. Bourne pulls it back, but the captain, Chernomordis, was there to steer it behind for another corner for England, this time from the right-hand side.
They've got that really good energy now in wide areas. Bowen on this near side on the right, looking to make an impression, drive at the defenders who are looking a little bit tired and not really, in that physical sharpness that he's in, having just come off on the bench. I mean, he could really exploit that situation.
Barache Eze makes his way to this side and raises the left arm as that takes the corner, which is a low one, and it is struck low by Harry Kane. And that's a decent stop, actually, through a crowd of players kept out. Then it's in from Bourne. That's hooked away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Tonishevs. Comes back to England again. Eza drifting infield and then clipping it with his left instep to Elliot Anderson. Now here's Rashford. Rashford's ball into the box, bounces down, and stretching for it in there. Dan Burn just slightly behind him, up for the set piece, and it is cleared away to the halfway line. And Republic of Ireland have taken the lead against Armenia. Evan Ferguson with the goal. It's been a wretched campaign for the Irish, but winning 1-0 against Armenia. Portugal still 2-1 up on Hungary, last we heard. Portugal have the chance tonight, like England, to clinch their place at the World Cup. England continuing to press forward with Jordan Henderson receiving it back and actually going all the way back towards the halfway line. So they're going to do it tonight, Matt, with 2 matches to play. Thomas Tuchel liking what he's saying. He's just raising a clenched fist there. He's got a blue baseball cap and a padded jacket on. We'll hear from him, I would think, on 5 Live before 10:30 this evening. We'll have the live interviews from the tunnel. You'll hear them all on the Football Daily podcast on the BBC Sounds app. Rashford does well, beats his man. Left-footed cross comes off a Latvian head. Eza hits the shot. That was mis-hit, actually, and easily cleared away. But England take up possession again near the halfway line. Somebody puts up a red umbrella just down in front of us. Even though the rain has eased, it was torrential at one point. And it's not the coldest night, it has to be said, even though we're so close to the Baltic Sea. It's not windy tonight, and the wind that sweeps in off the Baltic Sea has got a real edge to it, as we discovered over the course of the last couple of days. Bowen, and then Spence is dispossessed, and Latvia breaking away down the left-hand side with Balodis, the left-sided central defender, but Spence is able to tackle back, and it's out of play for a throw into England on the halfway line. So Latvia 0, England 4. Under Gareth Southgate, Matt, the last qualification for Euro 2024, Gareth Southgate's side did it with 2 matches to spare. For World Cup 2022, it was done on the final night of group matches when they won 10-0 in San Marino. I remember that well. That was a dank night as well. Euro 2020, it was done with 1 match to spare when they beat Montenegro in the 1000th match. Konza plays it forward towards Eza, but Latvia are able to work it back. Chernomordis, and then the referee has brought it back for Chernomordis' tackle on
foul on Eza.
So it's a free kick near the right corner of the box.
Yeah, I think he was just a little bit late. Caught Eza as he towed the ball away. The tackle came in. I think his foot went right on top of Eze's. He didn't get any of the ball. The referee just brought it back.
Well, I'm not sure what this announcement's about. We need Ian with his knowledge of Latvian.
Yeah. Can get that translate.
It's the attendance. There we are.
Thank you very much.
So, capacity for the Daugava Stadium. Bowen with the free kick in right across the face of goal beyond everyone, and it's bouncing away. The ball's running away, and it might hit one of those trees. It's just rolled past the trunk of the one that's furthest right and out of sight.
That's a long way away as well.
It is a long way away. There's a car park just behind it. Spain 3, Bulgaria 0 is the latest score there, and just to finish that off, as Latvia break forward, here's a ball through the middle for Dashkovic, who's already had a chance, now to the right-hand side, and Latvia pouring bodies forward. I think 4-0 down. I think it would be seen as a little success if they were able to register their first goal against England. Just the second meeting between England and Latvia's men's senior teams. Remember, in March, England won 3-0. Harry Kane scored in that one as well as Reece James' free kick. Remember that, to open the scoring, and Eberici Eza scored his first goal for England in that match. Latvia still with the ball inside the England half, and then going back towards the halfway line, but the pass forward from Tonishevs will bounce all the way to Jordan Pickford, who takes that easily. Italy now 2-0 up on Israel, trying to catch Norway. Retegui has scored that one, and Andorra 1, Serbia 3. Mitrovic scoring that goal after Andorra took an early lead. That's the other match in this group. England next month, with this scoreline, will have matches against Serbia at Wembley and Albania in Tirana, the final 2 qualifiers that will really take on for England the role of tuning England up for the finals.
Yes. They're good games to have, aren't they, in terms of that the pressure's off for qualification, so you can really start to use them as matches to hammer your messages home, get the team set up, keep picking whatever that team is that you want to play, which for me, again, after this performance, John, I shouldn't imagine he would make too many changes, Thomas Tuchel.
No, you wouldn't have expected so, no. Ikauniks, now the ball towards the edge of the penalty area, but Burns able to step in, and then he's challenged and he's fouled, and it's a free kick to England. So Latvia 0, England 4. And just to go back to that, Gareth Southgate's first tournament for World Cup 18, England qualified with 1 match to spare. So the last time they qualified with 3 matches to spare was Roy Hodgson's ill-fated final tournament at Euro 2016. So, as ever, it's not how you qualify, it's what you do in the finals.
Absolutely.
However, getting the job done, I think, is so important, because England, Thomas Tuchel, the FA, can then begin to really put their plans in place and firm things up, and also steal a march on everyone else, potentially.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it will be using those games to really get the team in that position where he wants them.
One now chasing after this ball, but West Ham captain trying to hook it back. It actually hits Chernomordis and bounces down for goalkeeper Zviedris. We'll have more England commentary for you tomorrow, incidentally, at the Women's Cricket World Cup, 10:15 in the morning, England-Pakistan, live from our team in Colombo. That will be on Sports Extra on your BBC Sounds app. And tomorrow night, Chelsea against Paris FC. We heard from Vicky at half-time, Vicky Sparks. That'll be on 5 Live Sport tomorrow evening. But England winning handsomely here in the Riga rain. And Rashford speeds away down the left-hand side, takes it on towards the dead ball line, pulls it across low, got there just as it reached the white line, was able to pull it back, but the falling Chernomordis put it behind for another England corner.
I mean, physically, we've just been a couple of levels above this Latvia team this evening. It stood out like a sore thumb. The strength and the power and the pace of this England team is miles ahead of where Latvia are at, and it just gets highlighted, certainly in those wide areas, and Marcus Rashford really exploiting it there.
They're asking the England fans to remain seated for 25 minutes after the match. Corner is taken short. Anderson drives it in, but that's blocked inside the penalty area. Anderson wins it back again, and then a little ball to the edge of the box for Konza, back to Henderson, his ball right across the penalty area. That's worked across, but it is cut out, intercepted by Vipes, and Latvia are able to get it away. 25 minutes sitting in the pouring Latvian rain doesn't particularly appeal.
There's quite a lot of people making a move down to underneath the stand right now. I should imagine everyone will be underneath it as opposed to in the stand.
Yes, the big concrete stands at either end of the ground, with Rashford turning now, Eza rather, turning now over on the far side. The rain now coming down harder than ever. 6 minutes to play. And England cruising it now. Henderson to Anderson. And then back to Henderson. Jed Spence. All the way back towards the halfway line. Jed Spence has emerged as quite the Tuchel choice, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done well. Don't see anything with him in an England shirt that makes me feel he shouldn't be in and around this situation.
Jordan Henderson lifting one over the top, looking for the run of Spence into the penalty area, half cleared away. Anderson, and then Jordan Henderson looks one way, passes it the other, and then Henderson back towards the centre circle. That rain is coming straight down now. You can probably hear it drumming on the corrugated iron roof above our heads. People 3 rows in front of us are getting soaked. Here's Henderson again out to the right hand side to Spence, and then back towards the halfway line. It has been very autumnal, Riga, let me tell you. The weather changeable, but when the sun has shone, I mean, the autumn colours, the cobbled street, the domes, the spires, the blue and white trams trundling through the streets. It is a very picturesque place to come to, and England have enjoyed their visit, winning here, the most important thing, to get the result that they needed and get qualification sorted out. Latvia coming forward. They just want another clean sheet. 6 wins out of 6 it'll be. No goals conceded. England through the middle again, attacking. Bowen now to the left to Eza. Cuts in field and shoots and scores, and it's 5-0 to England, and they're doing it on style. And Eza now points to the heavens with the rain pouring down on him. England World Cup bound and winning here in Riga 5-0 against sorry Latvia.
Well, it's another goal from a really good piece of just defensive play, turning the ball over like England have done all evening. Really hunted in packs and won the ball back efficiently. It's with Bowen, he's driving forwards through the heart of the pitch. He sees Eze, slips him the ball, and then he's got quite a bit of work to do, has to be said. He's got a couple of players that drop back with him, but he's on the left-hand side of the box, but he has that little opening to drift inside. You can't allow him inside onto his right foot, and the moment they do, he just slots it into that far post bottom corner. There's been some good finishing on show tonight from England, and Eze taking full opportunity to put that ball in the back of the net. Really nice goal.
Yeah, second goal for England in his 14th appearance for the new Arsenal man. And indeed both goals have been against Latvia at Wembley in March and here in Riga in October. So 5-0 it is, which I think is the kind of scoreline that's matched England's performance.
Yeah, I had a feeling that it could be this type of scoreline tonight, and England certainly haven't disappointed.
No, they haven't. They have found their groove, haven't they? Coming into these autumn qualifiers. We were talking, are they going to be able to find their identity, the way that Thomas Tuchel wants them to play? Well, they've done that resoundingly.
Yeah, I agree. And you'll want to see that time and time and time again. Thomas Tuchel wants to see it in training again, as he just claps the away fans there, Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, if you didn't hear earlier, as Ian was saying, that the England fans were having a bit of fun with Thomas Tuchel after what he said about how quiet Wembley was on Thursday night against Wales. So they were singing, "Are we loud enough for you?"
Was it quiet for you, John?
Well, the thing is with Wembley, I think virtually every England manager has complained about the atmosphere at Wembley at one time or another. Gareth Southgate, remember how frustrated he got with the paper planes? As Ikauniks is being replaced for the final minutes of the match by Kristaps Grabowskis, who is winning his first cap. Plays his football in Denmark for B93, the 20-year-old, so he's able to get his first experience of international football here against Thomas Tuchel's England side. Latvia 0, England 5. We will bring you the interviews from live down in the tunnel area here in this compact stadium, just over 10,000 people, 10,400, and 2,700 England fans, many of whom have been watching from underneath the stand to our right in the second half. Jared Bowen has taken a knock, whether he's just taken a kick on the ankle perhaps.
Yeah, it looked like that.
And he is down on his knees and he's felt that one. You know how sore that can be. As Latvia do attack down the left-hand side with Tsiganyiks, then the run forward down into towards the full-back position. Tsiganyiks gets that back, tries to turn. Harry Kane puts in the challenge. Harry Kane, who's playing the full match incidentally, having scored 2 goals. Bayern Munich's packed schedule, but he wants to play, doesn't he? And Thomas Tuchel wants him to play. Didn't play against Wales because of the bruised foot. Latvia, as we move into towards the 90th minute of this World Cup qualifier. Latvia attacking, and the ball deflected goalwards, but then cleared away up in the air by Jordan Henderson, and then it is cleared further away with Rashford chasing. It gets there first, nimble-footed Marcus Rashford, passing it forward to Harry Kane, and England now with Kane and Rashford in full flow. Eza as well. Kane continues on, looking for the hat-trick, and in fact he's bundled over, and Kane goes sprawling down onto the pitch. 23 yards out, and it's a free kick.
Oh, I'm not too sure about that for a foul. I think it's a little bit hard. Kane does well, actually, because he looks like he's going to unleash the shot. Rashford makes a brilliant run. Real energy that Marcus Rashford's brought onto the pitch as a substitute. But he just refrains from it, puts the brakes on a little bit, and there's a small bit of contact. But he knows what he's doing, Harry Kane, and he goes down and wins the foul.
2 minutes of added time. And England with this free kick. I think England were a little fortunate, Harry Kane, to have VAR awarding England a penalty just before half-time that Harry Kane scored. That he is involved in this. He's at the heart of this, Harry Kane. So he's got 2 goals. He has the chance to score a hat-trick, and he is 1 hat-trick away from equaling Jimmy Greaves' record of 6 hat-tricks for the England senior men's team. Kane, it is going to be Harry Kane. I don't think that's any surprise. So this will be between 25 and 30 yards out. Kane on his right foot. The Latvian wall is lined up just outside the box. Bowen to the right of the ball, but surely it's Kane. It is right-footed from Kane, but it's over the wall and high over the crossbar as well, and actually fielded very well by an absolutely soaked ball boy who caught it on the half volley quite cleverly. So into 2 minutes of added time. We'll have more from Conor Cody as well, who's back in the studio, the 5 Live studio, with Kelly in the latter part of 5 Live Sport this evening, on air till 10:30. We'll hear from Thomas Tuchel, a victorious Thomas Tuchel, leading England to World Cup qualification, having won his first 6 competitive matches. Fabio Capello, by the way, won his first 8 competitive matches, but to win 6 out of 6, and I know people will say, well, the quality of the opposition, it hasn't been the sternest, but to win 6 out of 6 and not concede a goal.
Yeah, you can't get away from that it hasn't been the sternest, because it hasn't, but you still got to come up with the goods, and England are doing that.
And here they are looking for another one. Anderson's ball across goal. That's pushed away by the goalkeeper, but he's able to find a teammate with that diving clearance. And there it is. The final whistle goes, and with that final whistle we can say that England will be at the World Cup in the Americas in 2026. They've done the job, and they've done it in style, winning 5-0 here in the rain of Riga. It feels a world away, the conditions that we're sitting in here, from, I don't know, Florida next summer. Certainly nothing like Kansas will be, which is where England may well be based. But England have qualified for the World Cup with 2 matches to spare, and Thomas Tuchel has achieved his first goal as the England head coach.
Yeah, I mean, take away the opposition and just focus on England for a moment, and what we're looking from a group of players and a team that can go on and achieve great things in a World Cup. You're seeing really good traits in this team at the moment, and I think Thomas Tuchel is going to be very happy, very positive with his team's attitude, application, with the whole display. They were clinical in front of goal, had some really good movements in and around off the ball. Defensively, another clean sheet. It's been a good evening.
Yeah, 6 wins out of 6, clean sheets in all of the matches. We're not seeing wild celebrations, Matt, by any means from the England players. You know, they're aware of what they've done and how they've done it, and the opponents that they've done it against. But they should be proud, shouldn't they, of their achievement nevertheless?
Yeah, I think, you know, the confidence of this group, they felt that this was going to happen anyway, and they were absolutely right. And it felt like that right from the first ball was kicked, to be honest. I mean, England in total control, looked like they had an objective that they were going to have to complete, and they did it comfortably. And like you say, John, they're just congratulating each other, but it feels like it's totally expected.
Yeah, Thomas Tuchel, I'm just watching him now as the Latvian players have moved away, the handshakes have happened, and now the England squad are all by themselves in the middle of that half. It's an incongruous sight, I must say, with the floodlights shining down, the rain falling, the backdrop of the trees and the massive scoreboard, and away to the right, the England fans, those who are still in their seats, soaked as well in there, are welcoming them over, and they are being led there, the England players, by the captain, by Harry Kane, who is now being followed by the rest of his teammates right off the pitch and towards the advertising hoardings. I think they might be going to... Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is actually stepping over the hoardings, and they're going to walk. I mean, it must be 40 yards behind the goal, that stand in which the England supporters are in, and they're lifting their flags now, the England fans, the crosses of St George, and waving them, and all of the photographers gather round, and the England players down below applauding up towards the fans.
Yes, it's a lovely touch, and for me it's only right. These supporters have travelled a long way in really difficult conditions this evening to come here and support the team, and they've done it brilliantly, and it's just a nice touch from the group and the manager to go across and show their appreciation.
Yep, it is mission accomplished in terms of World Cup qualification, and the England players standing in a line at that end while the rest of the stadium is empty. I must mention a flag, by the way, I saw at the other end in amongst the Latvia fans. It was a Latvia flag with Stourbridge, Latvia written across the middle. On the top, BCFC, Birmingham City FC, one of your old clubs, Matt, and it had the names of Anne and Tommy on one side, and underneath WBA, the Hawthorns, with Jack and Colin. I'm fascinated to know the story behind that Latvia flag. But anyway, the story is all about England tonight and their qualification having been sealed for the World Cup after goals from Gordon, 2 from Kane, 1 a penalty. That's 76 now for England for him. A Tonisev's own goal, and then a Berecha Eza scoring to make it 5-0. Latvia 0, England 5, the final score, and England are bound for the World Cup.
John Murray, Ian Dennis and Matthew Upson in Riga for us this evening. As we've been hearing, the England players are making their way over to the England fans in that Baltic rain in Riga this evening. Connor Cody is also with us. Connor, as we've been saying, it was a straightforward win for England, but nevertheless an impressive one, because they have to go out and they have to do it.
Straightforward win, yeah, as we expected, I think, Kelly, but you still got to go and do the business, you still got to go and perform, you still got to go and score goals, you still got to go and do things the right way, and I thought England were fantastic. What I love most is the reaction when they lost the ball, the professionalism to go and win the ball back. There was always 4 or 5 bodies round the ball to win it back and then start another attack, and I loved these substitutions after 4-0. I just thought, at 4-0 you keep the same players on the pitch, it can just drop a little bit because the game is won. All of a sudden you bring players on the pitch who want to score, can see opportunities to score, and we've seen the goals that were added towards the end of the game. So really professional from England. I think it's been a brilliant qualifying campaign, and listen, it's going to another World Cup and then players will be absolutely over the moon.
We're going to be here till 10:30, so we'll have time to go into the details of it, but in terms of going to the World Cup, obviously the draw's not going to be made until the beginning of December, so we don't know who England's opponents are going to be. What we do know, though, is it's a bigger World Cup, and there are going to be this kind of game that England potentially are going to be playing in. There's a different style of football sometimes at World Cups to what there is in the build-up to World Cup, so it's important that they're prepared for every eventuality.
Of course it is, but World Cups are always different to anything. I was lucky enough to obviously go to Qatar, and when you get there, they're the most extraordinary, amazing experiences you will ever have in your life as a player. So for them players now, be excited, because listen, a lot of them have played at major tournaments before, a lot of them are incredible footballers, we all know who they are within the squad, but a lot of them will be first time going to a World Cup. So get excited, be excited that it's a bigger tournament, be excited there's a lot of travelling or whatever it's going to bring, because they are the best experiences you will ever have. So no, it's a brilliant achievement for England, something that we expected them to do. It was the minimum that we expected, but now they've gone and done it without conceding a goal. Can they go through the whole campaign now and get it finished off in the right way?
Those England players heading over to the England fans are absolutely drenched in icy cold rain over in Latvia. But as you were saying, Matt, earlier on, the England fans have travelled a long way, and it's only right that the players should go over and show their appreciation. But equally, those England fans will be delighted with what they've seen. There was a lot of talk early on in Thomas Tuchel's time that maybe it wasn't the most exciting, that it wasn't the most front foot at times, that there's proof. Look, we should qualify that by the opposition that they played, but they're showing that they can get it done and they can build that rhythm.
Yeah, I agree, Kelly, and I think that it's not easy coming into a fresh group of players as a manager, having very limited exposure and having to pick the right team. So yes, there were some bumps in the road, but you feel that he's got a handle on the character of the players and how they react, what type of player he wants in the group. The balance of the team looks good. Anderson, again, this evening was excellent. And like I said to John, in the commentary, I don't expect massive of changes for the next game. I just don't. I think when you're in this moment, you're in this rhythm, he's set his stall out, and it's having a positive impact in terms of the performances of the players. So I fully expect the team to be very similar.
But also as well, it was against the lesser opposition. If you think back to the start of his reign, Albania at home and Latvia at home, where they won 2-0 and 3-0. They laboured in Barcelona when they only beat Andorra 1-0 in the qualifier in June. And he was criticised for those performances, Thomas Tuchel, and quite rightly he was criticised. So therefore, when you're playing against that opposition and you're now putting them to the sword, he should be praised, because the last 3 games has seen a marked improvement.
Deno, just before you head off, and I know John's gone down to get some interviews, and you're going to be going down there very shortly as well. But in terms of the substitutions, that's what Connor mentioned, the fact that it, 4-0 up, there was a temptation for England to maybe relax a little bit into the game. But it was Henderson, Eze, Bowen came on, and he's getting minutes in these players who could prove crucial when the tournament gets underway.
Yeah, and he didn't get that in the second half against Wales. So I think that element would have pleased Thomas Tuchel tonight, because he's, we talked before ahead of the game about the hidden messages, if you like, for Jude Bellingham. He's been quite clear regarding Marcus Rashford. You can only be a great player if you go and achieve great things. And he says for Marcus Rashford, you've got no limits as far as your career is concerned, but you've got to go out and prove it. So I think when Marcus Rashford comes on tonight, and Anthony Gordon deserved to start, and he put in a lively performance and scored a fine goal, Marcus Rashford now knows what he's got to do to try and dislodge Anthony Gordon from that position. All of a sudden, in the various elements of the England setup, you can see now where positions are going to be for players competing against each other. And Thomas Tuchel has made a point when it was for the start of this autumn games in September. He said, right, this is where we ramp up the competition. He had a slightly larger squad in June, and they went away for some warm training in Barcelona, obviously. Got John Stones out there as well. He deliberately then reduced the squad size in September, and that's the reason why there's no Foden and Bellingham and Grealish, because he wants to ramp up the competition. He wants to see that hunger and desire from the players who are privileged to wear the shirt now, because if they don't show that, then they won't necessarily keep the shirt.
But England know, of course, that they will be heading off to the World Cup next summer. Deno, you're going to be going a little less far presently. You're going to head down and get some of those interviews at the end of England's 5-0 victory against Latvia. But just to come back to that point, Matt, about the use of the squad by Thomas Tuchel in this victory against Latvia, the fact that he's got players in there, he's giving them minutes, and not just, changing players up with 5 minutes to go. It's like half an hour for 3 of them, 20 minutes for a couple of those players in the squad, just keeping everybody involved as well.
Yeah, it'll be for keeping people involved. It'll be for resting players that have had a lot of minutes, having freshness on the pitch. Like Connor mentioned, when you go that far up, it's easy just to go into cruise control. You bring on someone like Jordan Henderson, who's not going to stop talking and driving everything with his voice and getting people around him, and then players coming on wanting to express themselves to get themselves into the starting lineup. So creating healthy competition in an international setup is not that easy, because you're not around the players every day. You haven't got that ability to build that. So he's actually done that quite quickly, Thomas Tuchel, and it might need to be a bit ruthless at times and make cut off and tough decisions, but he's shown that he's more than capable of doing that, and he does it in a way that is kind of palatable. It's not too brutal, even though the decisions are the decisions. So that's top level football, that's top level competition in anything. So I feel the squad has that, and it can only be a healthy thing for the group.
And I think we've got the two perfect guests here to reflect on the fact that England have got through their qualifying group without even conceding a goal, Connor.
Yeah, it's always nice. And we listened to Jordan Pickford's interview before the game, didn't we? Talking about it's a team. Listen, he will love keeping clean sheets. Whether he touches the ball once or 100 times, he will love keeping clean sheets. And it's always the backdrop, isn't it? And listen, Big Matt will tell you the same thing as well. As defenders, as goalkeepers, as a team, you like keeping clean sheets. It keeps you in a game. And listen, tonight wasn't about staying in the game. Tonight was about going winning the game and scoring 4 or 5 goals and doing what England have done. But it's always nice, and that just keeps on adding to Jordan Pickford's record, doesn't it, in terms of 9 now? So let's keep it going for him, eh?
Yeah, he's on an incredible run of form in that England goal, but the defence starting to really click, depending on, or rather regardless of who Thomas Tuchel is picking in those positions. Maybe the fullbacks are ones that we can look at between now and 10:30. But that record that England are on, as Deno was saying, England have now scored, Matt, in each of their past 18 matches. That's the first time they've done that since between 1950 and 1953. And it's been a long, long run in which they've been incredibly successful at both ends of the pitch.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's lots of good things to come out of it. I mean, the one thing, and I think this might refer back to the Wembley feel in terms of atmosphere as well. There's been a lot of games in the last couple of years that have been a bit kind of flat in terms of teams coming and being very defensive. And I think those games can lead to being not the most entertaining. They can sometimes draw out drab kind of displays, even though England do win the game and we do keep a clean sheet. So it can be a little bit misleading to get too excited about those kind of stats. They are really, they're really impressive, but it's about the performances and the style of play and what teams you're playing and the jeopardy in the game that really drives the excitement and puts the players to the test. And while you have to be professional in these fixtures, if you're organised and you're well drilled and you've got a good group together, this England team's got the talent to cruise through these kind of games. It really has, and it's shown it in the last 3 or 4 matches. But when it gets put to the test of those real jeopardy games against top nations, that's when you really see what it's all about. And maybe this team doesn't get tested enough like that.
Yeah, it's been an incredible run for England, and as Matt was saying, you don't want to read too much into it, Connor. The danger is that there's always expectation on England anyway, and now they're going to be heading into the World Cup with this great record. It's 240 days before the World Cup even gets underway in America, and suddenly expectations are just going to start creeping up a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's what we do as English people, isn't it? And you wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's going to creep up as well because the manager we've got. We all understand what the manager's coming for. The manager's remit is to win the World Cup. I think we all expect that. We all know what his remit is. And listen, this country comes with expectation. When you pull on the England shirt, Matt will tell you the same thing. It weighs heavy because there's an expectation about playing for England and you have to win. And sometimes I think that comes, you mentioned before, Kelly, about the atmosphere at Wembley and things like that. I think it comes because you're expected to win games at that stadium. It's expected to happen. English people expect their team, their country to go and win games at that stadium. So 100% there'll be an expectation. Let's embrace the expectation. I think we've got a group of players who can embrace that. I think we've got strong players who the shirt weighs heavy, but they'll take that on board and they'll take it into the World Cup. I can't wait for it. I'm so excited. There's nothing compared to a World Cup or a major tournament. So to see England are finally there, it really excites me and it's something I can't wait for.
Yeah, 240 days to wait though, so don't get too carried away
of course.
too early on. We've got 240 days of build up to that one before it actually gets underway. But just to pick up on that point that Connor made about the England fans, Matt, because people will have heard Thomas Tuchel's comments about them being quite quiet at Wembley, and it's a different crowd at Wembley, and often you've got a lot of families, a lot of people who are there at maybe their first or one of the few England games that they go to. It's a very different crowd. The England travelling fans are very different, and they were on very good form for this game in Latvia, and we're sort of having a bit of fun with Thomas Tuchel as well.
Yeah, they were all game actually, and he responded really well, and I think it's probably easier for him to make those comments than maybe what it was for someone like Gareth Southgate. But he's not English to begin with, and he's fresher into the job, and he's kind of has the ability to make those comments, but it's kind of can be harsh, but it's not too cutting. Do you know what I mean? I think he's always open to a viewpoint or a response back as well, and I think he felt it as a local derby, certainly the Welsh game, and didn't get the response that he wanted out of the home fans. And those points you mentioned as well, Kelly, in terms of who's going to the game, is it families, is it so it is a different mix, but the away fans here this evening, I mean, they were just in full swing, turned out in full force. I mean, there's a few staying in our hotel. You walk around Riga, you'll see England fans dotted about, and they've come and really supported the team, and they had a good rapport with Thomas Tuchel this evening.
And Deno chatting to them in Latvian as well, I was hearing.
Yeah, well, it always helps, doesn't it?
Likes to learn a little bit of a language
people
everywhere
on social
he goes.
media.
It's one of the two things that he's getting up to. That's true. In terms of the job that Thomas Tuchel's done, Connor, what are your thoughts on how much credit he has to take for this campaign? Even, I know I'm going to stop doing this. I feel I've made the point now. Even in terms of the level of the group, because we've seen lacklustre qualifying campaigns at times against supposedly beatable opposition, but this is as near to perfect as England could have been. So how much credit does Tuchel take?
A lot of it, most of it, all of it, whatever you want to say. I think he's been brilliant. I love where England are at the minute. I love the feeling around the squad. I love the feeling around how ruthless the manager is, and he is ruthless. And we go back to kind of the little dig he had at the supporters, but let's be honest, he's ruthless with the players as well. Everything he's come out in the week to talk about Marcus Rashford needing to be the best in the world, can be the best in the world. We've obviously touched on before the game about the players he left out. It's not just he's being ruthless with one side of the nation, with supporters or just with players. He's ruthless with anyone because he wants the best, and he wants the best for his team, and we can see that. So I think he takes an awful amount of credit, and it just makes me laugh whenever we see an English manager. And the first thing, when he first come in, and you expect miracles straight away, don't we? So we all give him criticism for the win at Andorra and all this sort of thing. But now we're sat there going, England in a real good place. I love the clip in the first half where the fans were giving him a little bit, and he had a little wry smile and put his hand up. And I just feel like England in a real good place, a good place to move forward, a good place to improve and get better, obviously leading into that massive tournament next year.
Do you feel kind of
Matt,
sorry,
hold that thought, because John Murray is talking to Harry Kane.
Yes, here is the England captain, Harry Kane, on the night that World Cup qualification has been assured and delivered, and you've led from the front, Harry. You did it well, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a great game from us. I spoke before about building momentum, and no matter who we play, to hold on to that, to hold on to winning games, to hold on to clean sheets, to pressing high, scoring goals, and then we've done all of that. So another great camp. We can be really proud to qualify with 2 games to spare. It's never as easy as what it looks. A lot of preparation, a lot of hard work goes into what we do, and ultimately, we have to handle that pressure of being the favourites, and we've done that really well so far. So another tournament to look forward to.
Yeah. Is the best thing about this particular window the fact that you have been able to follow on and pick up from where you left off in Serbia?
Yeah, 100%. And after the Serbia game, I spoke to the group about that, about building the momentum that we're feeling amongst each other, not just on the pitch but also off the pitch. And these camps come around quick. We play so many games at club level before we know it, we're back again, and it's important to keep that ball rolling. And even though we've qualified now, still 2 big games in the November camp, and I think we've only got 6 games from now until the first World Cup game. So every moment counts, every training session, every day together. It's about building something special, and we've been doing that especially over the last few camps. So hopefully November will be no different.
And of all the many achievements and things that you've done, every single tournament, World Cup, European Championship, when England have qualified, you've been on the score sheet, all of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
That's right, on the night it's been done.
Well, that's a nice one to have. Yeah. So for me, I always try and celebrate things like it's the first. I spoke before about how proud I am to play for England, and especially in major tournaments. And whether it's your first or whether it's your 5th, 6th, they're all special. And I think America next summer will definitely be special, and we'll feel that. So never take these moments for granted. And like I touched on earlier, we spend a lot of time, a lot of hard work together to achieve this. So we should celebrate tonight and on the plane home, and then look forward to getting back to club level.
And can I just ask as well, the style in which England have played in these recent matches, you found the groove there. You played in America at the FIFA Club World Cup with Bayern Munich last summer.
Yeah.
Is it going to be possible to play this style, this high tempo pressing style, in those conditions?
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes it sounds like you're taking a high risk, or it sounds like you're putting in a lot of effort, but it's sometimes funny if you do it early and do it and win the ball back quickly, you're the one who actually has a lot of possession. And I think we found that in the summer with Bayern. We ended up having 60-70% of the ball, which is probably the most important thing when you're playing in that heat, making the other team run. So and of course sometimes the opposition are always going to break the press, and you have to run back. But ultimately, I think if you get it right, you will actually win it back quicker, and then you'll keep more possession. So that's our aim. We want to be an aggressive team. We've shown that in the last few games especially, and we're going to of course come up against tougher tests and better teams. So all of this is just great practice for when that comes.
Yeah. Well done tonight, and enjoy the moment with the teammates.
Thank you.
Thanks, Harry. Harry Kane, England captain.
Thank you very much, John Murray. John Murray and Ian Dennis in the tunnel getting interviews from within that England camp, and we'll play them to you as and when they come in. A really interesting couple of points that he made in that interview, Matt. One of them was about building momentum, that he said they're feeling on and off the pitch. It's not just about the fact this is job done, then they've got the games to come at home to Serbia and then away in Albania in the November international break, and then I think it's 4 games between then and the start of the World Cup. He said this isn't about just filling that time and using this to experiment. This is about building momentum ahead of a tournament.
Yeah, very much feels like that. It's not about filling the time and discovering and, well, should we have a look at this or should we try that out? No, I think it's like, this is us. This is what we're doing. Let's just get better at that. Let's get better at being us. And whether it is that press where they win it back, I completely agree with his point that he's made to John's question there, in the sense that if you can win the ball back quicker, it's going to save you overall in the game more energy and more running if you can win it back quicker, because you have the ball again and then you go again. So if that is something that England are going to work out of possession, which I think is a great thing and a trait of a top team, then brilliant. And I think they've showed that again this evening, the intensity of getting after the ball when they've lost it. I think Jed Spence did really well with that. All the players did well with it. Anderson reads it so well. So, yeah, I think just hone in on being the team that they are right now. Keep getting better at what they're doing, and they're going to go into that tournament in a good place.
Matt, we're going to bring in Anthony Gordon now with John Murray.
Yes, well, the man who opened the scoring for England tonight, Anthony Gordon, has just crept up on my blind side. Great to be involved on a night when England qualify for the World Cup, I'm sure, Anthony.
No, amazing. It's something I've dreamed of since a kid. Probably didn't hit me until I got in the changing room and seen everyone celebrating, because we have a job to do and you're sort of so focused on doing that. So when we got in the change room and I seen everyone celebrating, the music was on, yeah, that's when it hit me.
Yeah. You said, didn't you, to us in the build-up to these 2 matches, that you felt you wanted to do more with England, and you must feel that you have gone some way to delivering that in these last 2 matches, yes?
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely the last 3 performances have been my best for England, and I think they've got progressively better. But again, I can't rest on that. I still feel like I can do more. I still feel like today I could have scored 2, got an assist or 2. So if I want to be a really top elite world level winger, I've got more to do.
And of course, the competition in your area of the field is intense, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's now World Cup places we're talking about.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not scared of competition at all. I don't mind it. I think it pushes me to be better. I think it pushes us all to be better. So definitely not something I'm scared of, and more something I cherish.
What would it mean to you to go to a World Cup?
Everything. I think every young lad in England dreams of playing in a World Cup for England. So there's not many ways you can use to describe that feeling. It would mean putting on a shirt in one of them games. So listen, it starts in November. Actually, it starts back at club level. So I'm not lost on the competition. I'm not lost on the fact that being successful in the qualifiers means we get on a plane. That's definitely not the case. I need to go back to club, perform, and get in the next camp.
Well done tonight.
Thank you.
And enjoy the moment.
Thanks very much.
Anthony Gordon, thank you very much, Anthony. Just disappearing off.
Thank you very much.
One commitment. We've got Thomas Tuchel not a million miles away, Kelly, as well.
Should we chat to you while he comes over? Is he that close, or what do you want to do? Do you want to just give us a shout when he's nearby?
Away, not far away actually. So you can chat to me for all you like. We've got John Stones over in the corner as well, who's also doing some talking. And there's a really buoyant mood, I have to say.
I thought that was interesting about what
Anthony Gordon here he comes.
Said,
here he comes.
I will hear from Thomas Tuchel.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations! You've made it look easy. Qualification for a World Cup, but it doesn't look easy.
It is never easy, even if it looks easy. We put a lot of work in, even today, in the high press. They played with a lot of short passes and a lot of short distances in the beginning. We expected more long balls. The reaction was good. We just kept on investing, and another excellent team performance. It's a special moment. It comes rarely that you qualify for a World Cup, so the mood is very, very good, of course, in the dressing room. It's all smiles, music, and it's a moment to enjoy because it's a special moment.
Yeah, so the celebration will be there. You said you might celebrate like Senegal did, but
almost. You can see that means a lot, and it is different, and you cannot create it artificially. It comes naturally, and it's so beautiful to see what it means for the players. Of course, we expect from us to win against Latvia, but the way we won, first of all, gives us a lot of satisfaction, and then you feel straight away, hey, we did it. Six wins, 6 clean sheets. We are there, and to have this feeling is a very unique feeling. So it's a special evening, and you can feel it in the staff and in the players. It's good.
So how can you turn this to your advantage, qualifying with 2 matches to spare?
You need to give me some time to think about it, because I just know it since half an hour that we're qualified. But we will. Harry just said in the dressing room, we will get this. Let's keep this thing going. And in November, guys, when no one will take a rest, no one will step back. And this is my feeling. They're building something. We are building something together. I think everyone will be delighted to be back in camp. And let's see. We have some time now to decide, but we want to build on what we have, of course.
It feels like you've found a pattern. You found your style. Yeah. You made just the 2 changes tonight, so that continuity again. And is this style that we've seen in the recent matches, is that a style of football that you will be able to play in the conditions that you will find in the United States?
You need to adapt it, of course, to the conditions. It's different if you play in 40 degrees in the afternoon, or if you play in 8 degrees and rain, of course. And it will come naturally. You just cannot sprint in the same amount. You cannot have the same high-intensity runs. The game itself will be slower. But there's, I think, in a moment there's no choice. We do what we do. It gives us a good feeling. The players buy into it, and we play a running game. We play a high-intensity game. I think this reflects the English football culture, and the players love it. And we will adapt it when it's necessary to adapt.
But you must be very proud of what's been achieved. I know people will say, look at the quality of the opposition, etc., etc. But
still, it's 18 points, it's 6 clean sheets, so it's good, and it's a special moment. It's a moment for us, no matter if people might say this was easy. If it looks easy, it's never easy in football. You have to break down deep blocks again today, and the way we did it, it's nice to see, because they play with a lot of effort, and they just don't just rely on their talent, that we will score at some point. So we work hard for the goals and for the chances. So it's good to see. It's a very good moment. I like it a lot. Yes.
Congratulations. I'll let you go and start planning.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Thomas Tuchel just turns away, actually, and Dan Ashworth and Mark Bullingham are just standing to my right. And Debbie Hewitt as well from the FA, and they've all given Thomas Tuchel a warm embrace of congratulations.
John Murray, thank you very much. There will, of course, be celebrations within the FA setup, but also within that England dressing room. We heard from Harry Kane, from Anthony Gordon and from Thomas Tuchel about the music in the dressing room, about the fact the players are all celebrating. Kind of what was interesting was that Anthony Gordon was so focused on this, and so focused on the preparation, on this hard work that has been a real mantra of Thomas Tuchel's, that he said it wasn't until he got in the dressing room that he realised that, it's all right, we're allowed to celebrate this.
Yeah, first of all, how good's John Murray? How good is he? Just wait, he's brilliant, isn't he? But no, listen, I play with Anthony Gordon at Everton, and his mentality was the same back then, even a good few years ago when he was a young boy coming through at Everton. He just wants to be the best. He wants to. If he was sat here now, he'd speak without a smile on his face, because he's so serious in every aspect when it comes to football. And I fully believe what he told us there in that interview. I fully believe he was so focused on trying to be the best player on the pitch. He will openly tell you that he'll want to be the best player in every opportunity that he can be. He mentioned there about he thrives on the competition. I fully believe that. So he should enjoy himself. It's an extraordinary feat to get yourself to a World Cup. So enjoy yourself, focus on getting into that next squad, exactly like he said. But he says the right things all the time, but he really means it, because he was exactly the same a few years ago when I was with him at Everton as well.
So England have qualified for next summer's World Cup in the US, Canada and Mexico with that 5-0 win over Latvia. Portugal missed their chance to book a place. They drew 2-2 with Hungary, a late equaliser for Hungary in that one. Also in Group F, Republic of Ireland beat Armenia 1-0. That keeps their slim hopes of a playoff place still alive. Earlier, South Africa claimed their place. They got a 3-0 win over Rwanda, so they finished top of their group ahead of Nigeria. Ivory Coast and Senegal have also secured their places tonight. The 2022 host Qatar have also qualified, and so too have Saudi Arabia.